What is going on, everybody? It's your boy AJ, and I am back with another live stream. And today is the New Year's Eve live stream, New Year's live stream, and I'm going to be doing my Blu-ray haul, my 2021 films ranked, and yeah, just talk some movies and things like that. So if you have any comments, anything that you want to talk about, anything that you picked up during the month, definitely hit me down in the comments in the chat, and I'll read off your comments. And thank you guys for showing up and hanging out with me tonight. I will advise you, or not advise, but let you know at the beginning of the stream that I feel a little under the weather right now, so I might go off screen and sneeze or blow my nose or whatever, but it will be very brief. We're gonna keep the ball rolling. We're gonna have a great time tonight, no matter what. And yeah, so we just gonna hop into it. Let's see what people are saying in the chat. Jared Runner in the building. What's going on? Thank you for stopping by, Jared. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Stacy Wilson, that's my lovely, lovely wife. Happy New Year's Eve, everyone. Thank you. So we are going to get into the Blu-ray haul, and I got a special surprise after the Blu-ray haul. So we're gonna get into it. Blu-rays without a slip. There's a few of them here. So and this is a Black Friday pickup, and it says $12.99 there. But on Black Friday we had like half off at Disc Replay, so it was actually $6. This is a first time or a blind buy. It would be a first time watch for me if I ever did check it out. But yeah, it's on Blu-ray. Ron's Gone Wrong. I can't hardly even say that. I've been trying to say that for months, but I can't hardly even say the title of this movie. My buddy Luke Ponto suggested it, and he suggested I pick it up. And I guess he really likes it. So Ron's Gone Wrong. That's my first Blu-ray without a slip. My second Blu-ray, I have seen this movie. And this was also half off, $3.99. So what was it? $2? Yeah, $2. I picked up Room, starring Brie Larson and Jacob Tremblay. That was actually on my 100 movies list this year. I watched it, loved it, and I picked it up on Blu-ray in December. So yeah, it is based on a true story. Well, no, it's not based on a true story. It's based on a novel. It's not based on a true story. I always think that it is, and then I forget. And then my wife likes to let me know it's not based on a true story. So yeah, next Blu-ray is Rock of Ages. My buddy Tyler suggested me to pick this one up. So my friends are just getting me in trouble with buying a whole bunch of stuff. But anyway, Rock of Ages, this was also like on a sale. I don't think it was half off, but it was on a sale as well. It says $5.99 there, but I don't think I paid that for this. I hear it has awesome music if you love rock and roll, like classic rock and, stuff like that. I heard that it looks like it's a stacked cast. I know Tom Cruise, Alec Baldwin, Mary J. Blige, Catherine Zeta-Jones, Julianne Hough. Yeah, so it's pretty stacked cast. So hopefully it's good. I've never seen it. This would be a first time watch for me for Rock of Ages, but I went ahead and picked that one up as well. Funny story. I was watching a movie, or I put in a movie the other day, and I had previews before the film. It didn't go straight to the menu. So it was like previews, and it was a movie that had Bradley Cooper in it. I was like, okay. And then it had Jennifer Lawrence in it. I was like, this looks familiar. It's not American Hustle. What is it? So it turned out to be Silver Linings Playbook. I was like, this trailer looks really good, but also I've seen this movie before, and I didn't like it when I watched it the first time. I think it was like in 2013, 2014. So it's been a while, almost 10 years. It's crazy. Almost like 7 or 8 years since I've seen it last. So I went ahead and picked up Silver Linings Playbook on Blu-ray. I was like, let me watch that. I'm going to pick it up. I always see it at Disc Replay, but I always am like, I've seen this movie. I don't like it. So I picked it up. It was cheap. I think it was like $3.99. It doesn't have the tag on it, but yeah, Bradley Cooper and Jennifer Lawrence. So I'm gonna rewatch this. Hopefully, I like it more because I really liked the trailer. I was like, this is really good. Let me see. Got some folks in the chat. What are you guys saying? My mother-in-law is in here. NY Chrome. Happy New Year's Eve. Happy New Year's Eve to you as well. Alex Thomas. Yo, what's going on, bro? Alex Thomas, Happy New Year, everyone. AJ, I haven't seen you since last year. I guess it's New Year's already in Latvia. So Jared Runner says, hello, Alex. What's up, Jared? So let's move into it. I got my my special guest sitting behind stage right now, patiently waiting for his turn because he's gonna show off what he picked up in December. But my next pickup is Live Die Repeat, at Edge of Tomorrow. I don't know if it's a title change. I don't know, but this is one of my favorite films that I watched for the first time this year. So I picked it up on Blu-ray. Yeah, not much story to it. I love that movie. So moving on to the films, the Blu-rays with slips, a comedy that not many people like, but I enjoy it. It's called The House with Will Ferrell, Amy Poehler. I watched it a few years ago. It's got a nice slip to it. And yeah, I got this for cheap. I think it was like $2. So I went ahead and picked it up. Next is The Grinch. My mom had it. I'm not going to talk about this one much because I haven't seen it, and my mom bought it last year and then she gave it to me. So I was just like, let me just take it. So I haven't seen that. I still got to watch that. Probably wait till next year. Here, sneeze break. And I'm back. Okay, and this one is a huge film for me because this was my number one film of 2021 for a very long time. And it is Demon Slayer on Blu-ray. It's got a nice slip cover, and I actually did the reversible artwork on it. Loved this movie, seen it like 4 or 5 times this year, and I love that it's on the back of the slip. Rengoku against Akaza. But yeah, this movie, fantastic movie. Love this film. We'll talk about it more later. And then Kong Skull Island is another one. It's got a slip. I don't really love this movie, but I picked it up and because it was what, $5.99, half of $5.99 was $3. It was $3. So I was like, what the heck? Finish my Monsterverse collection. I still don't have Godzilla 2014 though. That's the last one I have to get. I actually watched this one last night. Nice slip, and I actually dug it. Injustice. It came out in 2021, new release, and I really dug it. And a lot of people didn't. I looked on Letterboxd. Most of the reviews had like 2 out of 3 or 2 out of 5, 2.5 out of 5, 1 out of 5, half stars. I'm like, what movie were y'all watching? Next is Old. Not much to say about this. I don't really like this movie much, but it was $10 and half off of $10 was $5. New release for $5, slip cover and everything. Whatever. I was like, let me pick it up. And then same thing with this. Oh, I feel like this is a misprice because this is crazy. F9 for $3.99, and it was half off too, so it was $2. I picked up F9 Blu-ray slipcover for $2. What? It's crazy. Get out of here. Sorry, talking to my cat. So now we are moving on to the 4Ks without slips. I asked for this for Christmas from my sister. She picked it up. Didn't have a slip cover. She got it from Amazon. What you gonna do? It's all right. Thank you if you're watching. I don't think you're watching, but if you're watching, thank you, Ebony, for buying this for me. Hitman's Bodyguard. I've seen it before. It's not a blind buy, but it's good. I like it. It's funny. Next is that. I think that was the only. Yeah, that's the only 4K that I got without a slip. Now everything else is with a slip. That's how I like it. Inglorious Bastards on 4K. Got it for $10. Slipcover. Oh, came out. Slipcover is still in the package. Then The Gentleman, released in 2020. Guy Ritchie film. I love the slipcover. I love the white background for the slipcover. It's the same way with the cover too. Yeah. So, Gentleman, I enjoy that movie a lot as well. Watched it last year. 4V Ferrari. This is a blind buy. I think it was like maybe $10 at Disc Replay. Came with a slip, so I felt like that was a good deal. Came with the digital code too. I used it. Shang-Chi, one of my favorites of the year, on 4K, and we'll talk about that later when we get into the ranking. Really enjoyed Shang-Chi. Vertigo, one of my favorites too. I watched it for the first time last year, and it is an Alfred Hitchcock film starring James Stewart. Great movie. I'm moving through these. Candyman. This one I didn't love as much this year, so I plan on giving it a rewatch. And I wanted to pick it up just to have in the collection, you know. So I got it for Christmas. My wife got it for me. She also got me Shang-Chi, Vertigo, and the next one too, and Demon Slayer. So The Last Duel. She got me this one as well with a slip. One of my favorites of the year. Loved this movie. Loved this movie. It might be in my top 5. Might be my number 1. You'll never know. All right. Hobbs and Shaw. Saw it for cheap at Disc Replay. 4K with a slip. Go figure. Trying to that did complete my Fast and Furious collection. So then Godzilla, King of the Monsters on 4K. What a nice slip. Let's get it. Let's go. As my buddy Alex would say. And Dr. Sleep, I picked up on 4K. A slip. Good movie. I was actually surprised because I didn't really have much hope in Dr. Sleep. All right. Zombieland Double Tap. And I did like this movie. It wasn't like as good as the first one. Wasn't as good as the first one, but I liked it. And then No Time to Die, which is my last 4K with a slip this month. So No Time to Die, I watched it yesterday. I had to catch up. I didn't like watch these movies as they were coming out. So I had to catch up, and I watched this one yesterday. Fantastic. Loved it. And I'm not the biggest 007 person, but I prefer Mission Impossible, but No Time to Die was great. All right. Moving on to box sets. I know my buddy Tyler has this one as well, but it is the Karate Kid. The Karate Kid box set on 4K. And get a close look at that. Oh, yeah. And then each film comes with its own slipcover, bro. I loved it. I love this. As the first one. They spoiling us now, giving us box sets with each film coming with its own slipcover. That's now I'm expecting that from all the box sets from now on. Karate Kid 3. And the backs are just kind of like this. They're kind of plain, but I think it has scenes from the film like in the back. So yeah. Got those out of order. All right, putting them back. This looks nice on my shelf, I'll tell you that. My next, and I just said that I'm not the biggest Bond fan, but I picked up the Daniel Craig collection as well because I wanted to catch up. I wanted to watch them in 4K, and I was like, you know what? Let me pick it up. It was on sale, and I did a price match too for Amazon, so it was even cheaper. So I usually buy all my movies on, you know, a sale or cheaper. I didn't get the Karate Kid on a sale, but I feel like the Karate Kid set is worth it. This I found on a sale. I used my gift card for Christmas. It is the Planet of the Apes trilogy on 4K. My buddy Tyler he told me to pick this up, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna use my gift card for this. So I didn't even open it yet, but they don't have their own slip covers. I wish they did. It's okay. I'll deal with it. I'll live. But yeah, and then last box set that I picked up is The Matrix. So I had some rewards for this. It was on a crazy sale, so I ended up paying like $21 for this. I think it's a $70 value for like $21. So I love finding a good deal. I love using my rewards, things like that. And here's the back of the box. It got damaged a little bit. Like, it was the last one in the store. I don't know if you can even see that, but like, it's damaged a little bit there. It's okay. And then these are how they look. I actually don't absolutely love the inside, like the case covers. I don't love them, but it's okay. I'm glad that I have the movies. It comes with the Blu-rays and the 4Ks. And moving on to, I got one vinyl. Actually, I bought this vinyl for my wife for Christmas, so we're just gonna add it to our collection. It is the 21 Pilots vinyl, the newest album, and it's called Scaled and Icy. I always forget the name of this album, but it's called Scaled and Icy. It's not my favorite album of theirs. I don't love it, but it has grown on me since it came out. So 21 Pilots vinyl. That's the only vinyl I have for this month. Here, let me get a drink. I feel like I've been flying through these. All right, last category, last but not least, it is video games. And I actually bought this one with a gift card for my birthday in November, but it didn't get here until December. So it is Deathloop on PS5. And I haven't played it yet. It's still in this case. It's still in this like wrapper or whatever. Haven't played it yet, but I hear that it's pretty cool. I saw the trailer a few months ago and I thought it was cool. So I went ahead and picked it up. It was on a crazy sale for Black Friday. So I went ahead and did it. And me and my buddy Tyler actually are going through a lot of these Disney movies. We're watching a lot of Disney movies right now. So he's told me that he had the Bolt video game as a kid. And I was like, let me see if I could find that for PS2. And I actually did. And it was $4.99. And, you know, I've been playing it here and there, but it's not amazing, but it's fun. It's kind of fun. So it's actually, the story is a little bit better than the movie because the movie is kind of slow. I wasn't loving it, but it's a fine film. I think I gave it a 3 out of 5. So that is my collection. We're going to bring my special guest in. Actually get my headphones in so I can hear him. Should have untangled these before the stream, but it's all right. Kind of blew through those the collection, the haul right there. But yo.
That's
you, man. What's up? What's up, bro?
What's going on, brother? What's going on?
I saw you patiently waiting in the back.
I was chilling. I was seeing your
my haul.
Yeah, man.
I know that you weren't feeling the best either. So
yeah, I'm doing much better.
Doing better. I'm glad to hear that.
It's now it's just the sore throat. Hopefully it it goes away.
Yeah.
You know, I think the cure was most definitely Cobra Kai season 4.
Cobra Kai season 4. Cobra Kai never died. Cobra Kai never died.
I'm 8 episodes in. I finished episode 8. And I stopped at episode 9 and I was like, fuck, this is the one everyone said was like amazing. And 10. And
episode 9.
You know what? I'll wait.
Yeah. So where you're not like rushing or anything, or you know.
If
I
I
get it.
wasn't sick, I would have been done. It's
Yeah,
just
I know
like,
you probably took a nap today.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
most definitely. I watched
I
one
get that.
episode and I was like, all right, I'm done.
Passed out.
I need to go to sleep, bro. But
I
the
get it.
last thing I saw was actually the ending of season 8 with Stingray.
Episode 8.
Episode 8. Yeah,
No,
I was
with
like,
Stingray. Yo, that's when
oh,
I texted you. That's when I texted you. Yo, this
yo,
is
Terry Silver.
Terry
Oh man,
Silver. Terry Silver, bro. That's
Terry
we just
Silver's
let's
killing
just
it,
leave it.
man.
Let's just leave it at that. Terry Silver. All right, let's get into the comments. It looks like I got 20 here, so we are going to kind of speed read. The house is trash. I disagree, but I like it.
I heard that movie was butt.
That's what everybody says, but I liked it. Edge of Tomorrow was based on a manga. Wow, I didn't know that. I need to get Kong Skull Island on 4K. I'm okay with my Blu-ray. I found it for like $2. I'm cool with it. You actually got Old on Blu-ray? Yep, it was like $5.
You couldn't pay me enough to get that piece of shit.
Demon Slayer movie wasn't in store for me when I tried to get it.
You and me both, bro.
It's so weird because I went to Best Buy after I got off work today, and it was like 7 or 8 copies just sitting there on the shelf. $2 is too much for F9. Oh wow, F9 for $2. Yep. 1 cent is the right price for F9. This is some F9 hate in here. Okay. This man and his slip covers. Bro, slip covers enhances.
Kind of warranted. It's kind of butt.
Yeah, it's not very good, but $2, you're not gonna pass that up with a slip. Let's go. Gotta do it. What's up, AJ? Tony? What's going on, Tony? Thank you for dropping by. And Happy New Year, my man. Thank you. No Time to Die was in my top 10. Did I add No Time to Die to my see? I want Karate Kid box set. Yeah, I want you to get it too, so you can give me those codes, bro. Oh yeah, you did give me the codes. Never mind. Tony Movie Chappie said, I really enjoy No Time to Die, but I'm very mixed on the ending. The ending was something else. So if you haven't seen No Time to Die, just know that the ending was something else. I don't have The Matrix on 4K. Well, I'm sorry about that. You should definitely pick those up. Rev 4K says, what's up, my dude? What's going on, Rev? Thanks for stopping by. John Travolta. Yep. My guy, Tyler, Mind of a Nerd podcast. Go check out his content. Yes, sir. And hi, Tyler. All right. Got through all the comments. Now let's see what you got in December, my guy.
So I didn't get much when you really think about it. So I'll start with the regular stuff and then I'll get into the big expensive stuff. So
right, cool.
The only Blu-ray I bought was Malignant. I got this for like $20-something. It's basically full price, but I love this movie. I haven't seen it since I first saw it, and I kind of don't want to watch it again because I'm afraid that I'm gonna hate it.
I saw it twice and I liked it both times.
But yeah, this movie was awesome, and I'm kind of sad that it underperformed.
Yeah.
Tragically. I literally just picked this up today. I risked my health to go get this Clockwork Orange on 4K. I haven't seen this since I was like 15 or something. The 4K is weird because it like picture quality it's good, but the aspect ratio, AJ is gonna know what I'm talking about. You know how I complain about the aspect ratio on those Disney movies?
Yeah.
The 4K is like that for Clockwork Orange.
What?
So it's a little weird to me, but I'm happy that I own this though, because I've been wanting to watch this for a while again. And you know, it might not be not me. It's definitely not everybody's cup of tea. That movie is
not. It's very divisive.
Weird as fuck. But I remember liking it and I want to rewatch it. I just got this one. Yours truly sent this one to me. Krampus on 4K, the naughty cut. He sent this to me because I really wanted this because I love Trick or Treat. I know he doesn't, but I personally love that movie. And this is from the same director. And when I saw this was getting a 4K, I was really excited. This movie was a huge fucking letdown. It has moments of greatness, mainly the third act. It's where it really picks up, and I was really digging it, but the first like hour of this movie was painfully boring. And the unrated version of whatever this is a joke. All the kills are still cut away. There's some F-bombs here and there, but other than that, it's just a waste.
Luke says Malignant and Philosopher's Stone. I'm guessing that's what he picked up this month. He said he didn't even watch Krampus this year. He's a fraud.
I bought, again, this is another one that I bought because of AJ. The Last Duel, I bought it on 4K. I also bought this because my buddy Kevin.
You need to watch it.
He wanted this, and I personally didn't. But I was like, you know what? We'll split the cost. You get the digital, and I get the 4K. So I have this. I did have intentions on watching it before today, before dropping my top 10, and Mother Nature said, no, fuck you. You're not watching this because you're sick.
Not Mother Nature.
Yeah, but I will get to it. And the last regular slip that I bought was the Suicide Squad. I had to get this. This was in my top 10. And I've discovered over the past week or so, I've watched this movie twice in a week. I watched it last night, and then I watched it on Christmas Day. Why on Christmas Day? I don't know. This is easily becoming one of my favorite DC movies ever. I truly love this movie. And I fully acknowledge it's not a perfect movie, but it's definitely one of the most rewatchable movies to me, and I just have so much fun watching it.
It's my number one DCEU.
The next thing that I got this today was the Wolf of Wall Street Steelbook, 4K. I passed it up on this last week, I think, when I went shopping, and I said, you know what? I saw it. There's something on the steelbook that I'm trying to get off. There it goes. And I passed it up, and I was like, you know what? I got to get it. I still have yet to see this movie. I had it on Blu-ray. My uncle bought it for me on Blu-ray for $5. I didn't watch it, and I bought this for $27, and I didn't watch it yet. So if I don't like this movie, heads are going to roll.
It's definitely an interesting film. I'll tell you
next is, I'm not going to talk too much about it because AJ already talked about it, but the Karate Kid set. I got this because of AJ, but also because I love the Karate Kid. The first Karate Kid is one of my favorite movies ever. The sequels are decent. They're not terrible. I think 3 is a little overhated, even though it is a cartoon pretty much. And the last big thing, again, because of AJ is killing my wallet here, bro.
We're all killing everybody's wallet. We're all killing each other's wallet.
The Underworld 5 movie box set. I wanted this because of the box. I love the box, and they each come with their own slips. Sony's killing it with the box sets. I still have the J card on it because Best Buy messed up the box at the top, so I just kept the J card on it. It doesn't really do anything. My one negative is that it doesn't really look good on the shelf. It's just, you just see that on the shelf.
Yeah.
But so far, me and AJ are kind of regretting this purchase because we've watched the first one together, and
we watched the first one together.
It was boring as fuck.
There were okay parts in the third act that made it better, but the first 2 acts was.
It felt like a movie that they didn't know what it wanted to be.
Yeah, I can agree with that. But I love the concept. I love the concept of vampires and werewolves having at war with each other, battling it out. And so I like that concept, but actually put to screen how it came to fruition. It
wanted to take itself serious, but it wanted to take itself serious, but then it has moments like her fucking shooting a circle with bullets, going
shot circles in the floor and drop down to the next.
What do you want to be? Do you want to be like a stupid Resident Evil movie, or do you want to be a serious movie?
Make up your mind. Hopefully, the second one isn't as bad. Hopefully, we can kind of have some fun with the second one. But I'm not looking. I mean, I'm looking forward to it, but I was looking forward to it more right after we watched the first one. But ever since we watched it, now I'm kind of do we really?
Everyone says the sequels are dumb and they're bad because of how stupid they are. I have a feeling we're gonna have more fun with those than this one.
Yeah, because it didn't know what it was wanting to be. So hopefully they find their footing. But I don't know. We'll see. Getting back into the chat a little bit. Let's see. Alex Thomas says, I picked up Last Duel on 4K for $18, brand new, factory sealed. Good for you, bro. I wish we were able to.
I paid $15 for it.
Really?
Well, because I split the cost with somebody. I paid
but it
$15 for 30.
was $30.
Mhm.
But yeah, you split the cost. That's cool. Yesterday I picked up Zack Snyder's Justice League. That's awesome. I picked that up a couple months ago, maybe. I think in November I picked it up. Yep, for Black Friday. I love that Luke calls it Philosopher's Stone because that's what it's called. Future Watch Along, The Wolf of Wall Street. I might sit that one out. I don't love Wolf of Wall Street. I know Luke, and I know I'm a bad influence. Yep, Alex Thomas is probably the worst influence, but a great influence on our collection, bad influence on our wallet.
Yeah, if I could count the amount of things I bought because of you guys this year, it would be like half my collection would be off my shelf, bro.
Same.
The Long Halloween steel
Y'all
books, I had no intention of buying these. I had no intention of buying these before you guys were like, or not you guys, Alex and John were like, oh, these movies are so amazing, and I saw them there and I was like, fuck.
I guess I gotta buy these now. But y'all got me to buy Power Rangers, and I never thought that I would ever do that. But
Don't let John
here I am. John knows my feelings about it. But anyway, we're gonna move into my ranking. We're gonna transition into my 2021 films ranked, and I think I have all the films that I saw in 2021 that are 2021 films in this list. Hopefully I didn't forget any. I tried to remember throughout the year to put them on Letterboxd, so that's what we're gonna look at.
You put No Time to Die in there?
I believe so. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did. Everything that I watched over the past week, I did put on there.
I'll just sit here and say what my thoughts were on some of these movies. I didn't see everything, like that shitty
the house next door.
the house that movie. I didn't see
door.
that, but most of the movies I saw that he saw. So I'll just say quickly what I thought about him.
Yeah, so we'll start with Barb and Star.
Oof.
I did that one for my watch along. Well, my 24-hour movie marathon stream that I did earlier this year. I think it was in August that I did it. And that was one of the films, and I regretted it every second of it. It was the worst film that I saw of the year.
I didn't even finish it.
Yeah, you tried. And I was telling you, you don't have to finish that, bro. And he was like, I'm gonna finish it. I don't want to rate it unless
here's the thing.
I finish it.
Excuse me. Most of the time with bad movies, I'm like, okay, I have to finish it. That way I can, objectively say, oh, this was a bad movie. But this was so bad that I all my professionalism went out the door. I was like, I don't care anymore. This is so bad. There were worse movies. There were worse movies. I think Home Alone was worse. I think.
I didn't watch that.
I thought you did.
Nope, not Home Alone. Home Sweet Home Alone. Nope.
Yeah. But this was truly. Oh my god, it was so bad.
I didn't laugh once. I don't think it got one laugh out of me. It had musical numbers and a supervillain and very, very bad and weird accents. It's just really, really bad movie. It's the worst of the year for me. The worst. That's number 81. So we'll move on to the next row here. The House Next Door. That probably was worse, but I had more fun with it. It was just really, really dumb, really stupid. But like I did laugh a few times. So I got to give it a little bit of props there. They're like pretty much neck and neck with Barb and Star, though.
I didn't see that movie at all. And I remember seeing, I forgot, I think I went to go see Wrath of Man, and they showed the trailer for that. I was like, why is that happening?
I saw I saw a preview for it. I forget what movie I saw, but it was a preview for it. I said, I'm actually going to watch that in the theater because I want to like just laugh at how stupid it is. And I did on some parts, but a lot of parts weren't funny. Next one, 79 is Gunpowder Milkshake. I'm going to try to speed through some of these because it's a pretty long list, and I've been doing a lot of live streams this week. So I'm going to try to speed through Some of them. Gunpowder Milkshake, I didn't care for. It was pretty bad with the action. The acting, I didn't care for. There were a few characters that were okay, but most of these actresses were underutilized and just not a very good story. I wasn't interested in anything that was happening,
Thought it
and
was
I
just
don't.
okay. This year
The
was the
CGI
year of
blood and
this year
yeah.
was the year of John Wick ripoffs, and it made it to a point where I was like, I don't want to see another action movie again unless it's John Wick.
Oh yeah, it was bottom of the barrel for me. 79. Next one is Willy's Wonderland.
Disappointing.
Disappointing is an understatement for this film for me. Nick Cage is just taking Nick Cage roles, just whatever scripts people hand him, he's just gonna do them, and that is proof with this one. The animatronics were weird, bad. The story was almost
Weird,
non-existent,
bad.
almost non-existent, and yeah, it is bottom of the barrel for me as well. Matrix,
Oof.
Matrix Resurrections had potential. Some of these other films I don't feel like even really had much potential, but Matrix did have potential. It had some cool concepts. We've been talking about Matrix a lot lately because we did a live stream of a watch along. We did. We watched this together actually in our group chat.
Yeah.
And we just didn't care for this film. Our buddy Benji does like this film. He rewatched it and enjoyed it a lot more. So I'm happy for him for that, but I can't relate personally. So Matrix Resurrections, what could have been, man? What could have been? The Little Things with Denzel Washington, Rami Malek, or Malik or whatever, and Jared Leto. Very forgettable film.
And started the year off with a snooze fest.
Yeah, the acting wasn't bad. Just the story was boring.
I thought the ending was the best part, and it was when things were finally getting interesting, and then the credits rolled. I was like, "What? Okay."
Yeah, I know we're gonna differ on the next two. You really liked Fear Street 1994. It's bottom tier of 2021 for me. I thought the acting was really bad. I thought the story wasn't very good. The kills were terrible until the third act, which was only like 2 kills that were pretty good. And yeah, I did not dig this one at all. I'm gonna let you give your thoughts on it.
Fear Street overall, I really liked it a lot. It was a lot of fun going through in the summer. The first one I really loved. 2 I didn't care for, which I'm unpopular on that because everyone thinks 2 is the best one from everybody else. I totally disagree. And 3, I thought the first half of it was okay. Then the second half of it was much better for me. But the first one's still my favorite. I really dug it a lot.
Yeah, I know it's a lot higher on your list, and I think this Don't Breathe 2 is also a lot higher on your list, right?
It is, but it's not like, near the top. It's in that mid range. I thought it was okay. It was fun in the theater.
Yeah, I wish I had fun with it. I think there was one scene that was kind of fun for me, like when the house was on fire and the girl was in the safe. And like it was filling up with water or whatever. Yeah, I like that. But everything else, like with the mom and the fake mom, or I don't know if it was fake or real or whatever, but I don't know. I wasn't feeling it. After I walked out of the theater, I felt defeated. So whenever I feel that way, it's not a good one for me. Next one is Clifford the Big Red Dog. This movie wasn't terrible. It just wasn't good. And I think it had really good themes. It had a really good story to tell, but the way they told it and the jokes being told, and like they tried to make it into a like 2021, try to, hey, what do kids like in 2021? Like without like actually trying to make it good. So it's gonna be a no for me, dog. Literally with Clifford. I was not excited to watch that either. I kind of watched it on a whim, but The next one, I know that me and Tyler differ on this one too because he liked this one. The Map of Tiny Perfect Things. It wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad film. It just I kind of got bored with some of the scenes and some of the things being done. I think I'm kind of just bored with the time loop, like genre of film. I'm just kind of tired of that.
I can't really argue with it because I saw it once in March. I don't remember a single thing about that movie.
Yeah, I watched it in March as well, but
I thought it was cool when I saw it, but
I think I don't know. The time loop movies have a cool concept, but I think they're just kind of getting tired, especially for me personally. I'm just kind of like, all right, can we switch up what we do with time loop movies? Because I feel like every one of them is like, how do we get out of it? You know, and just like the journey trying to figure out how to get out of the time loop, which is, I don't know. It feels kind of generic at this point for me. But the next one is Hitman's Wife, Bodyguard, 71. What can I say about that one? Nothing. I
didn't see it.
Wasn't my favorite.
My mom saw it. She said she liked it.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of on par with the first one with the jokes and stuff, but it kind of felt like we've done this before. Like, why are we doing this again? That's how it felt for me with the movie. And I actually got the 4K for Christmas for the first one. Tom and Jerry, not good. I know your placement is probably lower for this.
Oh yeah. It's like I think it's like 3. I love Tom and Jerry. That is my bread and butter. If a family member, God forbid, died, you could throw on like 5 of the best episodes of Tom and Jerry, and there's a chance that I'd forget that it happened because I love that show so much.
Tom and Jerry is fantastic. I grew up on that show.
The way adults felt with Smurfs and Alvin and the Chipmunks is how I got to feel with that. That was bad, really bad. I hated watching every second of that movie. Terrible.
Yeah. And then I got Venom.
Oh my God.
Let There Be Carnage. Do you have that movie over Tom and Jerry or under?
Over.
Oh, okay. So we're kind of on par with that, but
a waste of my time. And especially after No Way Home, a definite waste of my time.
Talk about defeated. Oh yeah, after No Way Home, bro. That it made it even worse. How is that possible?
Now that movie has no point for existing now.
Yeah, for sure. It really does. Let me look at the comments. Looks like I got a few comments here. You enjoyed the Long Halloween, though. Yeah.
He's talking about me.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Smart ass. You bastard.
But what about The Watch, starring Ben Stiller? That actually is not a 2021 release, so we probably won't be talking about that one. Willy's Wonderland was okay for me. I disagree. I didn't like it at all. Luke review says, "Hey guys, look at us. We're so meta." That's Matrix he's talking about. Luke reviews, and remember when we made the Matrix in 1999? How great was it, or how great that was? Yeah, that's kind of how it felt a little bit. So the next one is Batman: Soul of the Dragon. I was thoroughly disappointed with this one. I don't really remember it that well. I watched it in January of this year, so
that's the one where he fights with Bruce Lee, right?
Yeah, but like I feel like Batman wasn't even really in the movie much, like until the third act. It was mainly Bruce Wayne.
Is it like the Batman and Ninja Turtles one?
I haven't seen that, so maybe.
Yeah, the Ninja Turtles one is like that, where it's like it's mostly Ninja Turtles like centric, and the Batman just shows up out of nowhere.
Well, Bruce Wayne is in the film quite a bit, but him as Batman doesn't come until like the end of the second act, beginning of third act, and it's just very underwhelming for me. But it's not bottom tier; it's like low mid tier, low to mid tier. The next one is I went into the next thing, so nope. Oh no. Okay, back on track. To All the Boys, Always and Forever. This is the third film, which I did not watch the first two, so I kind of watched this one out of context. but To All the Boys was very meh. It what? Can I get rid of this ad?
Probably not.
Probably
I have
not.
the
Not
same
until it.
problems.
Okay. Well, anyway, To All the Boys, it was mid. It wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad movie, but it was like one of those Netflix films that just were fine. It was okay. Something to watch.
At least you didn't have to endure all three Kissing Booth movies in a row.
Nope, I did not do that. I did not torture myself like that. So 9 Days is the next one. I actually watched this one the other day, and I pulled a Tyler and didn't finish the movie and just gave it a score. It wasn't bad. It just I was not interested in it at all. So I gave it a 3.
Is that the movie directed by Maggie Gyllenhaal?
I'm not exactly sure if it's directed by Maggie Gyllenhaal, but I know Winston Duke is in it, Benedict Wong, Bill Skarsgård. And they did what I saw. What they did pulled off a great performances, but I just could not get into the story of it. I said, "Let me watch No Time to Die." I was like, I don't really care about what's happening here. So, yeah. Next row is Those Who Wish Me Dead on 65. Very middle of the road. Film, not anything impressive. Angelina Jolie probably was the best part of the film, but I wasn't really feeling it. How'd you feel about Those Who Wish Me Dead?
I actually thought it was okay when I watched it, but to put in context, I had just come back from a dentist appointment and was on drugs when I watched it. So maybe that factored into it. I don't know.
It was like, I think I gave it a 3.5, 3 or 3.5. It was fine.
Yeah,
I didn't hate it. Like,
I know John hated that movie.
Those Who Wish Me Dead?
Yeah, he didn't like it at all.
I didn't think it was bad. And here we go. This is about to be the difference. Here we go. We won't even get on this one too long. But Profile, Tyler told me to watch Profile. Me and Stacy watched it, and it was pretty mid to me. Now you go ahead and tell me what. Go off.
I loved it. Well, I remember seeing it in the theater. I had.
You saw it in the theater.
Yeah, because Brando Critic was like, "Oh, it was like a 5 out of 5," and I was like, "What? This movie a 5 out of 5? What? What is this?" And there was this like really hot day in like April. And I was like, okay, it is so hot outside. I am not staying inside. I'm going to the movies and let's see what's out. And I saw Wrath of Man, and then I saw this, and I loved it. I basically saw it in the empty theater. One person was there. That was it. But I loved it from start to end. I was hooked, and when it ended, I was just like, I was locked up throughout the movie. I really dug it.
It definitely was intense. I felt like there were a lot of intense scenes, and it's like one of those movies that are computer screen. The whole film is like filmed on a computer screen or whatever. So kind of like Unfriended. I don't know if you guys seen Unfriended.
I don't like those movies.
Host,
I didn't
things like that.
Wait, what's Host?
It's the horror movie where the ladies are on a Zoom call and then they do like a seance or whatever and things start haunting them. It's a Shudder original. It was a Shudder original.
Sounds like Shudder, all right. I didn't see Searching either. I heard that one was like the best of these movies.
It was something like that with John Cho. It was something like that.
Yeah, his daughter goes missing and he's got to go through her Facebook and all that stuff to find her and stuff. I never saw it.
Nice. All right. Next is Saint Maude. Wildly disappointing film for me. I was anticipating this one and it just fell flat. I didn't think that anything was really scary about it. It had eerie scenes. The cinematography was well done. And I was satisfied with the ending, but like everything leading up to it, I did not care for. Next is the Purge, the Forever Purge. And this one was very mid-tier. I was expecting a little bit more from it. I don't know why, because it's the Purge franchise.
Yeah, I don't know why you were either. I watched the trailer for this. I was like, Is that going straight to sci-fi?
It does feel like
the trailer, does it like feel that way when you watch the movie? Because that's how the trailer
like that, for sure.
It looked like they had like $5 left of budget.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like,
these movies don't really aren't that expensive to make, though. That's the thing.
But but you look at a movie like Purge Anarchy and you're like, oh, that's a competent film, like on a technical aspect. And then you look at something like Forever Purge and you're like, what is this?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't watch it though.
I think pretty much all the Purge films are 3 out of 5. So I think they're pretty much all on the same playing field, in my opinion.
Election Year was a little wacky.
Election Year, it definitely was. I don't think I've seen Election Year. I think that's the only one I haven't seen.
Election Year is like Evil Dead 2 of Purge, bro.
Is it? That's the third one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I watched the very first one. Anarchy is the second one. I haven't seen third. Seen the first Purge and Forever Purge. I guess there's another one coming out. I mean,
is there?
I think so. They're getting the guy from the second one, from Anarchy, to come back.
Let me get the balloons and streamers.
I mean, hey, I'll be there. I know me. I'll be there.
I definitely won't be.
For a Purge movie. Zola was very disappointing for me. I was looking forward to it. I loved the trailer. I saw the trailer so many times before the movie actually came out. And, I don't know, man. It fell flat for me. It just wasn't great. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't great, and it felt like it ended very abruptly, but that's kind of what you get when you are making a film based on a string of tweets. I think it's like 160 tweets or something like that. I don't know.
What?
But yeah, it was based on tweets, man. Just go watch the trailer.
Okay.
So next one is Titan. I watched that one this past week. It wasn't bad. It was kind of mid. But I don't know, man. Titan, there were so many elements to the film that were interesting, but then just kind of fizzled out throughout the movie. Because, like, on one hand, she's a killer. On the second hand, she had like a traumatic accident as a kid, but then like they never really follow it up with anything. So that's Titan. F9, it was lower on my list until we watched it again, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna put it a little higher. It didn't move that much, but I think listen,
when I saw that movie, I walked out with a headache, and I mean a fucking headache. I was like, "What was that? What the hell was that?"
I didn't see it in the theaters when it first came out.
Oh wait, I had to listen. I hate this franchise at this point, but I had to do that in IMAX. I was like, bro, I got to do it, bro.
Are you gonna watch F10 in the theaters?
Only if they go and do time travel. If they don't do time travel, it's a failure. Sorry. But then we watched it when I bought it. And I'm seriously convinced that we weren't under the influence, but if you get the cold beverages going and maybe a little drug ghoul,
a little puff.
I think you will generally love this movie. I think we were kind of pretending that we were under the influence while watching
it was late, so I think we were a little slap happy too. So we had a good time with it, though. Not good, but it was interesting. We laughed. Next one is Pig. I watched this last week, trying to catch up on 2021 films. Oof. And I did not really care for this one. I was expecting things a little bit differently, things to go a little differently with the film. Nick Cage, once again, doing any role that somebody hands him a script for. And the concept was decent, but it was just very, very long and drawn out. Even though the movie is like an hour and a half, I think, it just felt long. It felt like nothing was happening, no progress on finding this pig. And then you kind of get slapped in the face, kicked in the nuts at the end of the movie when you find out what is going on. So There we go. And right next to it, above it, is Teen Titans Go to Space Jam. What is it called? Go watch Space Jam or whatever. I watched this on TV. I had some fun with it. And that is actually the first time I actually watched the first Space Jam. It's basically them commentating on the film. It was funny to me. I like Teen Titans Go. Sue me. You know, I don't care.
Yeah, we can't relate on that. I fucking hate Teen Titans Go. I watched like 5 seconds of it, and I was like, "What the fuck am I watching, bro?"
Have you seen the movie? Teen Titans Go to the movies.
I hated that too. I didn't like that. That movie gave me a headache too. I was like, this was not funny at all.
That sucks.
There was like a couple jokes that were like Lego movie humor, and I was like, okay, that was funny. But for the most part, I was like, this is so stupid.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, I kind of dig it. Next one is Vacation Friends. It could have been better, could have been funnier, but it wasn't awful. I did finish the movie. We were watching it, and Stacy was like, "Do I have to finish this?" I was like, "No, you can go. You can go to bed. I don't care."
It was okay.
I ended up finishing it, and it was like you said, it was okay. I think I gave
the
it a
funniest
3.
part was when they were playing golf, and then they were doing the bet.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember that part.
That was funny.
I kind of liked when they were like hunting that bird or whatever, and I think they ate.
I didn't like that at all.
I thought that was funny.
I was like, "What the hell am I watching?"
Just goes to show, comedy is.
John Cena was funny in the movie.
John Cena was funny,
and I thought the little twist that they were hanging on to with whether he was the father of the kid or not was funny.
It was kind of funny. Yeah.
But then I feel like they kind of drew it out a little bit too much. I was like, all right, so is he the father or not, bro? Make up your mind.
I agree. I think a lot of the jokes were kind of drawn out too long. That's kind of how comedy has been going. Like these comedy movies have been going lately. Like they'll take something that's funny. And we were just talking about this. You were talking about that with Barb and Star. How they'll take something funny and then kind of like
it's not just that though. Like, listen, we love No Way Home, but upon repeated viewings for No Way Home, they do that a lot in No Way Home, and it annoyed me
with jokes. Yeah,
like there was this isn't a spoiler. There's a scene where Happy's being told, "Oh, you're in trouble too. You got to do this," and he just keeps rambling and rambling and rambling. I'm like, shut up! Like, shut up! I don't know. I hate comedy like that.
I get you. Moving on to the next row is Old. I actually dug the twist or / reveal at the end, but everything leading up to it was just like, what am I watching? What am I actually watching?
The acting.
The acting, I don't know if it was the acting or the direction, because some of these people I've seen in other stuff and they've done better.
Thomas and Mackenzie was in Last Night in Soho and was amazing in that.
And Jojo Rabbit too. She was better in Jojo Rabbit as well.
And so I feel like I watched the wrong Alex Wolff movies because I watched him in this. He was terrible. Then I watched him in Hereditary and people disagree, but I did not like him in that either. So I don't know. I guess I watched the wrong movies.
He was actually in Pig too.
Yeah, I know. I didn't see Pig.
He was in Pig too, bro, and his character just added nothing, in my opinion. They tried to give him depth, but
there were points in Old that it got laughable though, like where
that's what another thing. Like this is hilarious for
the scene where look, I'm gonna describe 5 minutes worth of footage that happened. So 2 people that are technically supposed to be 13, they age supposed to be like 13 or 15. They have sex in a tent. Then the girl gets pregnant. Meanwhile, someone else watches up on the beach. They're decomposed, whatever. Then the girl gives birth. Then the baby dies because of lack of attention. That all happens in 5 minutes.
5 minutes because it's supposed to be like sped up time. Like the time was supposed to be sped up. And it was goofy. It was laughable. I agree. It was laughable.
I was just sitting there like, what is happening? It's just like Shyamalan was like, we're going to throw all this horrific shit at you. Yeah. And you're just going to be so like scarred for life. I'm like, I'm going to be scarred for life in the wrong way.
Not how you're intending. All right. So that was Old. Next one is Nomad Land. It was a fine film. It was very boring, but the visuals were really awesome. The acting was really great as well. But it was just the story was. I would have enjoyed watching this movie more as a documentary film than actually like a scripted movie.
Mhm.
But I was interested in what, these people, how these people live, how they don't really have homes, how they travel from state to state, place to place, meet new people and things like that, how they kind of find work here and there. It's kind of interesting, but also like how they told the story just was the story felt a little non-existent. So if it was a documentary, it would have been more interesting and it would have dove deeper as well. So Nomad Land, I don't think it deserved to win Best Picture at the Oscars, but that's just me. Next one is Next of Kin, Paranormal Activity. Me and you watched this one.
He watched it because of me.
Yes, I watched it because he was saying, different things about it. And he was like, it's not horrible. And then I was actually on the phone with you while you were watching it. Yeah. So, like, there was points, like, towards the beginning of the movie where you were
felt
like,
the exact same way.
This sucks. You were like, this movie sucks. And then, like, it kind of got into it. And you were like, okay, I see what they're doing there. And I'm like, I kind of want to watch this now. He's kind of like a little interested.
Yeah, it's the definition. It's honestly, it's like a movie we're going to talk about later. The My Hero Academia movies. Like it's two different movies. It's like the first half of it was boring as hell, and then the second half of it, it's not that much better. But it's like, well, okay, you did something.
Yeah,
and then as usual with these damn Paranormal Activity movies, the ending is like. Yeah. Well, now what?
And they have like a twist at the end, like somebody's related, or it's just like, why'd you have to? You don't have to throw everything into that. You don't have to be clever,
Yeah, it was strange too because there's points where it's not found footage, and it's like, okay, so are you Paranormal Activity or are you not?
They changed the kind of setup of the films, which kind of worked in its benefit at some points, though. Because sometimes, like, when they took away from the found footage aspect, it like looked better. You could see, like different visuals that, kind of were complementing the film more. But I don't know. Overall, it was pretty mid. So next up is Snake Eyes, G.I. Joe, the G.I. Joe story. Tyler didn't care for this one. I kind of liked it. I did pick it up on 4K, so I am going to rewatch it and see if my thoughts change on it.
It was probably, I don't want to say it's my biggest disappointment. That would go to Free Guy, but
that's sad.
Snake Eyes was up there. Snake Eyes, I was actually looking forward to it because I fully acknowledge they're not good movies, but I love the first two G.I. Joe movies for what they are. I fully acknowledge. Well, the first one is atrocious. Two is I think is okay. But
which one is which? The first one is
Rise of Cobra.
Rise of Cobra, and the second one is
Retaliation with The Rock.
Okay. I've never seen.
But yeah, Snake Eyes. It's so frustrating. It next to Old, it has to be the worst script of the year. By far, for a movie that took itself seriously, it was a horrendous script. The decisions that characters were making, I was shocked that they were making, particularly Snake Eyes. I hated him as a character.
That's how I felt about Profile.
Well, yeah, I can agree with that, but I did not like the character of Snake Eyes. Storm Shadow was a better Snake Eyes.
I think Storm Shadow was kind of cool in the movie.
Yeah, all they had to do was reverse the roles, have Snake Eyes be this head of the dojo or whatever, and Storm Shadow gets taken in, and then you could have the same things happen. I was severe. The third act saved it for me. I was having fun.
I thought the third act was cool. I liked the concept of the movie, the revenge story. The snakes. I was really into the snakes. I was like sitting at the edge of my seat waiting to see what was happening with that in the pit. But I guess we kind of disagree with Snake Eyes. We both kind of agree it has good elements, but it's not the best film. So I guess that's one thing we can agree on.
Give it a
But
3 or a 3.5. I don't know.
I think I gave it a 3.5 as well. So we kind of have the same score, but have different thoughts on it, different placements in our ranking, and that's okay. The next one I'm not going to talk about much, but it is the Britney Spears, framing Britney Spears. It was the documentary about the conservatorship and things like that. And it was interesting, but it just kind of, I mean, it's a Britney Spears documentary. I can't put it too high on the list. I had it higher, but then I was like thinking about it. I was like, nah. So kind of interesting story, but yeah, moving on to the next row. Uh-oh.
CCT.
Uh-oh.
I did not see this movie.
Oh, RSPC, respect. Yep. It was a little bit of a letdown. The musical numbers and things like that were decent. Give me a second.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we back. So respect Jennifer Hudson. I think she did a good job for what she was given. And there were just aspects to the story that kind of frustrated me. And just the way the story was told, not what actually happened. Because I understand that this is a biopic and things happen the way they happen and, you know, in real life. But I felt like it just kind of felt a little empty. I felt I shouldn't feel that way about a biopic with so much soul and, you know, things like that. But
that's how I felt watching the United States versus Billie Holiday. When it ended, I was like, okay.
Yeah. I kind of felt like that with this movie too. I think this was probably better made than that one because this was a bigger budget film and the holiday film was Hulu original, I think.
Yeah.
So I think it had a little bit less of a budget. But yeah, respect. It was a little bit of a letdown, but it wasn't terrible. I just wish they kind of dove into things a little bit more. This one, Unforgivable, 49. I kind of was feeling like Next of Kin, the paranormal movie. Like, where is this movie going? It's kind of boring. We got some great actors in this movie. We got Sandra Bullock. We got John Berthal. We got Vincent D'Onofrio. We got Viola Davis. You know, where is this movie going? I shouldn't be feeling this way with all this, you know, this amazing cast, you know. So things were moving a little slow. And then we got to the third act, which was kind of wild, kind of crazy. I loved the reveal and what they really did. It picked up and it kind of drove the movie home. So if it didn't do that, it would be a lot lower. It would be a lot lower. So 48. 48, bro. We got to talk about it, man. We got to talk about it.
Thank you for having me. Happy New Year. I'll see you in 2022.
We got to talk about it because this man could not stop ranting and raving about this movie, Censor. And I was like, okay, let me check it out. It looks really cool. I like the poster. I like the synopsis. And when I actually watched it, I really dug the concept. I really dug the concept of the film. And that intro was crazy. The intro was wild. Then we got into the meat of the movie a little bit. And I think the issue that I had with the movie, it felt a little bit style over substance, in my opinion. And then we got into like the character psyche. And I felt like I knew exactly what was about to happen. I felt like everything I knew. And once we kind of learned a little bit more about the character, what she's gone through, and you know her life at that point. I felt like I knew what was about to happen. Benji loves it too. Censor is a banger. He's with you. Y'all watched it together, right?
Mm-hmm.
Benji and Tyler. Y'all really loved it. And I thought it was good, not great.
It was my favorite movie of the year.
I want to give you the floor. I want you to let us know why you loved it so much.
As I said, this is my favorite movie of 2021. The reason that I said that was because I love the concept of, I love seeing the whole thing where we see the NPAA. You know, she works for the NPAA, and you know, it's funny because, you know, off screen we watch a lot of horror movies, and the one thing AJ says all the time is, "Why don't they show the kills?" You know,
it's always off screen.
Yeah, and you know, watching this, it's kind of fascinating. Watching as much horror movies as, you know, we do, you know, watching this, you know, it's kind of interesting to see a behind the scenes type thing. It's kind of like the Disaster Artist. You know, it's interesting to watch a movie about movies,
making movies, and what goes into it.
And I really dug the story. I thought it was interesting, and the last like 20 minutes, I wasn't predicting where it was gonna go, and I loved how they changed the perspective and it made it look like it was an actual movie. I loved that. And
that was cool.
The actual ending, I was sitting there when the ending was actually happening. I was like, what? And then when it was like wrapping up, I was like, dude, I was ready to write it off. I was like, all right, Carl, you got to give me something. And then when it did that thing, you guys haven't seen the movie, but AJ knows what I'm talking about. When it goes boom and it shows like the real life of what's happening, I was like, no, I gotta give it a 5.
This is fantastic.
Yeah, I wish
I felt the same way about it, man. I probably will give it another watch. You said it's coming out on Blu-ray for like $35 or something like that.
Yeah, that's 32? What Amazon says. Yeah,
the price will probably go down on it for sure. But I loved the colors and the lighting in the movie was fantastic.
It was very purple. Which
very purple. Yes,
that favors to me. I love me some purple.
Luke says, "Hey guys, just got home. Just saw Kingsman. I have not seen Kingsman, so that won't be on the list. But Tyler can talk about it. And when we get to what we've been watching lately, Nomad Land was too slow for me. Nomad Land was very slow moving. Like I said, I wish it was a documentary. Snake Eyes gave me a headache on my first watch, but rewatching, I liked it more. Nice. Snake Eyes is definitely frustrating, but I still had fun with it. Snake Eyes fight scenes shaking. The Unforgivable has very unlikable characters to me. I think that was the point with some of the characters. I get that. I understand what you mean by that. Next one is 47 Nobody. I wanted to like this one a lot more.
I need to rewatch this.
Yeah, me too. I picked it up on 4K, so I definitely am going to rewatch it. I would almost put it on the other day. I was like, let me put in Nobody, but I just never did. I'm going to do it sometime this year, this coming year. But yeah, Nobody, I wanted to like it a lot more. People were saying it's like kind of like a John Wick feel to it. And it did have some action. It had some decent choreography, decent camera work for the fight scenes and stuff like that. But I felt like the story was kind of hollow and a little generic. It just didn't feel like anything special, in my opinion.
I feel that. This was the first movie I watched when I went back to theaters. Well, unless you count Tenet, then Tenet was the first movie that I saw. But when they officially opened, it was this. I thought it was solid. I had fun. I saw it with a friend of mine, and we had a good time watching it. My mom just watched it, and she really dug it. But I haven't seen it since. I thought the third act was awesome. I loved the third act with John Malkovich. I mean, not John Malkovich. Wait, was it John Malkovich? No, it was oh my God! What? Doc. Yeah, Doc. Forgot his name.
Forget his name too.
I don't know. We forgot. Alex about to have our heads.
Oh man, don't let Alex hear it, bro.
Hold on. Christopher Lloyd.
Yes, that guy.
He should be ashamed of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Christopher Lloyd. I didn't even know he was in the fucking movie until I saw it. He showed up. I was like, what? and then when he showed up, fucking shooting people with shotguns and shit, I was like, what?
Yeah. So, nobody. I expected a little bit more from it. Maybe on rewatch, I'll like it a lot more. That happens sometimes. I just did that with BVS last night. I think BVS. I was a little too harsh on BVS. But yeah, and that's Batman versus Superman. If anybody doesn't know. So next up is 46, Luca. It was a fine film. As far as Pixar is concerned, it's lower tier in my opinion, but it was fine. It was kind of fun. I liked the voice acting. The villain probably was the weakest part of the movie, but I liked the message. And it was kind of short. It was straight to Disney Plus. I think that was pretty fitting for the movie. If I saw it in theaters, I probably would have felt like a little bit let down. But yeah, that's how I felt about Luca. What do you think about Luca?
Funny story about this. My brothers woke me up at 5:00 in the morning the day this movie came out to watch this.
I remember that.
And I was watching it. And mind you, I'd only gotten like 5 hours of sleep. And I was like, this movie's fucking terrible. I turned it off. And I came back home and I was like, all right, I'm going to watch it like for real. And I really dug it. It was cool. The villain reminded me of that villain from Cars 2, the Italian car.
I've never seen Cars 2.
Oh, yeah. Oh. Consider yourself lucky.
I've never seen Cars 2. I don't know if I'm ever going to watch 2 or 3. I know people say 3 is better and 3 is cool, but
2 is...
I don't think I'm going to watch 2 or 3.
Oof. But that's why I kind of like the villain, because I was like, he's an idiot, but it's a cartoon, you know. I thought it was okay, though. Yeah, I haven't watched it since, but I thought it was solid for what it was.
Nice. So we are moving on to the next row, 45 Till Death. This one surprised me, man. I really enjoyed it for what it was. It did still feel like a straight to DVD, straight to streaming type film. But I really dug it. If I would have seen it in the theaters, like I said with Luca, I might have felt a little underwhelmed. But since I was watching it at home, it was actually part of my 24-hour movie marathon. I was like, let me watch Till Death. And yo, it shocked me. It surprised me in a lot of different ways. And the conclusion was solid.
It was good. I watched it because mostly everybody in our group was like, no, this was good. And they put it on Netflix. And I think I watched it like one of the first days that it came on Netflix. And it surprised the hell out of me. I really dug it. I need Megan Fox to do more horror shit like this and not Jennifer's Body.
Yeah, you were not a fan of Jennifer's Body.
Yeah, sorry. I don't really love that movie like that.
And that's okay. So next 44 is Godzilla versus Kong. I actually did a watch along for Godzilla versus Kong earlier this year. Like when it came out, I think it was the day after it came out. And it's okay. I think the fights between Godzilla and Kong were the best parts of the movie. But then when we focus on the humans, it goes kind of downhill from there. So I think I gave it a 3.5. Maybe I'm feeling maybe a 3.5 to 4 right now, like in between there. So I did like Godzilla.
So I saw this. It was funny. I almost didn't see this in IMAX, and then my theater opened up like as soon as like this movie came out, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we're opening just in time for Godzilla vs. Kong in IMAX." I was like, "Yes!" So I saw this pretty much in an empty theater with my best friend, and we had a fucking blast.
I wish I would have seen it in the theaters, man. I really do.
We had a blast watching this. We were like, "Let's go, bro!" We were going crazy. Then I became sick of it because my little brother watched this movie like every day in that house until they took it off HBO Max. But I recently watched it with our buddy Luke on 4K. First of all, the 4K is absolutely incredible, by the way.
Yeah, I picked that up on 4K.
But yeah, I rewatched it and I was like, no, this movie still kicks ass. I really dig this movie a lot. I didn't mind the humans. I thought they were the second best group of humans next to the humans in the 2014 Godzilla. Yes, I like the humans in the 2014 Godzilla.
Oof.
But I'm also one of the ones that loves that movie unapologetically. But
you do. That's all right.
But yeah, I really dug it a lot. My only real gripe is at this point, people have seen it. I fucking hate the way Mechagodzilla looks. I don't like the design at all.
Not a great design for Mechagodzilla.
I don't know what they were thinking. It looks terrible. The CGI is fine. The CGI is definitely not the detriment to this movie. In fact, I think not enough people talk about how good the CGI in this movie really was.
It was
because
pretty
like
fantastic.
When you just see like shots of Kong like just there, you're like, he's really there. Like that's not a computer generated.
Yeah, effect. even when he was on the boat and it was moving and you saw the wind flowing through his hair, it was like, wow, this looks real.
It looks like they crafted or they made a fucking 50-foot monkey in a lab and he's walking around.
Yeah, even with Godzilla, I feel like he looks great. You can see his scales and stuff like that. Yeah. One thing that for the design of Godzilla is his eyes are so small. It's kind of hard to see that he has eyes.
Have you ever seen the Shin Godzilla, the Japanese one?
I haven't.
That one is funny because his eyes are really big. It's actually kind of the Shin Godzilla is kind of a horror movie, to be honest with you. Like they made Godzilla scary in that movie.
I would love that. I would love to see that.
Let me blow my nose out. Everyone's like, "Can he stop sniffling?"
So next up, this is one where me and Tyler kind of differ as well. I'm gonna give my thoughts on it, and then I'm sure he's gonna give his thoughts on it. Halloween Kills 43. When I first watched it, I watched it in the theater, packed theater, great audience reactions to the kills, and the kills were brutal in this movie. I think pretty much the most brutal that they've ever been in a Halloween movie. And I commend the film for that.
Have you seen the Rob Zombie Halloweens?
Me personally?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you think they were more brutal than that?
Do I remember the Rob Zombie movies that well? Probably not. No, I don't. So I'll have to go back and look at those. I have to go look at those kills again. But as far as the non-Rob Zombie Halloween movies, I could say because I watched all of those this Halloween season. I didn't watch the Rob Zombie ones, but all the other ones I did. And yeah, man, I think this one is probably the most brutal, most gritty. But the story, it kind of felt like a stepping stone into the next film and didn't give us much depth or creative ness for the story. The kills were creative and things like that. I had the second watch really opened my eyes, and then I watched it a third time, and then it solidified my thoughts on it. But when I was kind of rearranging my list this past week, I moved it up. I kept the score the same, but I moved it up a little bit more. Because I did have fun with it. I did watch it 3 times. So, and there was a lot of talk about the film as well. So I kind of, I bumped it up.
So I walked into this thinking it was going to be an absolute disaster. I am not a huge fan of the 2018 one. I think it's fine. I hated it the first time I watched it, but upon rewatch it, I think it's fine. This movie, I walked in thinking this is going to be a absolute fucking disaster. I thought the trailers were terrible, and walking out, I was like, It wasn't exactly the greatest thing ever, but I can't. I'd be lying if I told you I didn't have a great ass time watching that movie. I I had a lot of fun watching Halloween Kills, and then I watched it again. I think the same day with
Hmm.
AJ and our friends, and I was like, no, I still really like this a lot.
Hmm.
We'll see what happens when I get the 4K, but as for right now, I still really dug it a lot. I had a lot of fun with the kills.
Best part of the film, in my opinion.
I do agree with most that they say that Laurie's not in it much, and that's a detriment. I do agree with that, but
Yeah, it kind of sucks.
I think
They kind of
them.
did what they wanted to, or they kind of did what they did with Halloween 2.
Mhm.
Lori was in that more, I feel like, but like still, she wasn't the main
Well, the
focus of the
movie,
kills.
in Halloween 2, the movie circles back to her. Halloween Kills doesn't do that really.
No, it doesn't.
Um, and I did like Tommy Doyle a lot. I liked all the
Oof,
returning characters,
can't relate. Can't
and
relate.
I did. Spoiler alert. I thought the ending was great, and I liked that they finally killed off what's her face.
Karen.
Finally, because I didn't like her character in the first one, and I didn't really like her in this one. Um, I like that they gave Allison more though to do.
She
I
did. They
think
did.
I think across the board, other than Jamie Lee Curtis, most would say she's the best part of this trilogy thus far,
Hmm.
in terms of
I can
non
agree.
Michael Myers related things.
Right. I could agree.
You know,
I think a
but
lot of people
I had
like
a lot of
Tommy
fun.
Doyle too.
I thought it was a lot of fun, and you know, I kind of I think I lowered my standard. Actually, no, I did lower my standards walking into this, and I kind of accepted the fact that we're not going to get a Halloween movie that's as good as the original at this point.
Hmm.
So I'll take what I can get, and for 90 minutes, they threw everything but the kitchen sink at these poor people, you know,
Right.
and I really dug it for what it was.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the kills were the best part for me, but I think yeah, it's not terrible to watch. It's not a horrible film to watch. It's not boring. There were some scenes where it was kind of like it kind of
The
felt
second act,
a little slow,
the
but like
hospital
even
stuff.
yeah, but like even with those things, like the dialogue between what's his name in
No, that's not what
Jamie
I'm
Lee Curtis.
talking about. I'm talking about the part where they were chasing the patient.
No, I don't know if that was slow. It just
It
was
was
kind of
it
it was
was
just kind of stupid.
uninteresting.
It was kind of
It
stupid,
was
but it
uninteresting, and
wasn't
on the
slow.
second part, on the second viewing, I hated it even more. I was like, dude, this is so stupid.
It was. It was.
Oh, Evil Dies Tonight.
Yo, we got one of our favorite lines from this movie. I had to bump it up in the ranking. We got one of our
Evil,
favorite lines. Evil
bro.
dies
If
tonight.
if you guys were flies on the wall for every watch along we do, we say Evil Dies Tonight at least one time we
It
watch a movie,
fits
bro.
in so many movies, like especially these Disney movies we've been watching.
Yo, my buddy Alex had the best one. If you guys have seen Beauty and the Beast, where they're about to go kill the beast, they're all like screaming and shit, and out of nowhere he just blurts out, "Evil dies tonight." Bro,
It was
it
perfect
was the
timing.
greatest thing
It
ever,
was
man.
perfect timing. So the next one is the Green Knight. I know Tyler has not seen this one, but
Nope.
um, when I watched it in the theaters, me and Stacy, my wife, we watched it in the theaters, and yo, I didn't hate it, but it was just so like nothing in the movie really makes sense. It doesn't really come together in the end to make sense, and movies like that, I just don't really love. There's just a lot of elements to the movie where they just didn't conclude what just happened. So that bothered me a lot. But I picked up the movie on 4K on Black Friday. I was like, okay, I'm gonna give this another watch. It was cheap. It was like I think it was like $10 at Best Buy. So I said, let me pick it up. And I liked it a little bit more on the rewatch because I kind of knew what I was getting myself into. And then I watched it on Christmas because it's kind of a Christmas movie. And I'm actually kind of digging this movie. I can't give it a 4. I think I still have it at a 3.5 because it's just it just doesn't make sense. Like the things happening in the movie don't come together in the end. Yes, it's based on a story. It's based on a book. I get it. People say go read the book. That's like when people say when we watch Rogue One, we're like, okay, what's happening with these people's backstory? Where are these people come from? And like what goes on with their past? And people are like, okay, there are books, there's novels with these characters, and they expect us to read the books. Like, no, you should tell us in the movie. You know
you gave me $25 to see my movie and give me an extra 25 for another damn book.
Exactly. I mean, you could go to the library, but still, like, I don't feel like reading this. It should be all presented in film form. So, certain vids in the building. What's going on? Thank you for stopping by. Make sure you hit that like button. And we are on 42. We're actually on 41 now. Malcolm and Marie. A lot of hate for this film. A lot of hate. It's lower on a lot of people's ranking for 2021. But I actually kind of dug this movie. I liked the dialogue between the two characters. It was only two characters in the movie the whole time. It was black and white. I think it kind of added to the aesthetic of the movie, of the film. John David Washington eating mac and cheese so aggressively. That's cinema right there. That's cinema. Did you watch Malcolm and Marie?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I
liked you one of those? Oh, you liked it. Okay. I was going to ask you, are you one of those people that didn't care for it?
Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was strong. My main issue with the movie is that it didn't really know what it wanted to be. It kind of felt like two different movies, where one was about like the movie business kind of, and then the other one was like a struggling relationship, and the two just didn't mix for me. But the performances really held it up, and I thought it was like believable. Like it didn't come off as two people acting like they're in a dysfunctional relationship. Like I believe that it was a dysfunctional relationship.
Yeah, I can agree with that. It wasn't a perfect film, don't get me wrong, and there were points in times where I was just like, okay, where is this going? But like kind of when I was into some of the sequences, I was just like kind of mesmerized by some of it, and like the acting was phenomenal. So it's Zendaya and John David Washington, both of them. So I'm glad we're kind of on the same playing field with Malcolm and Marie. Next row is 40, starting with 40. Mortal Kombat. Yeah, man. This was kind of dope, though. This was kind of dope.
Kind of. It was kind of dope.
It was kind of dope.
I had a blast with this movie in the theater.
It was fun. I
had so much fun.
I watched it on HBO Max.
I went with my friends. We had a blast watching this movie in the theater, man. Such a good time. I feel sorry for people that say this movie's bad.
Yeah.
You know the amount of people this week alone that I've seen, oh yeah, Mortal Kombat is in the worst of the year.
It's in the worst, or
it's like top 10 worst of the year. Like what?
Yeah, I've seen that too.
Like week. I genuinely feel sorry for you that you cannot have fun with this movie. Like my condolences.
It was fun, especially when you watch Mortal Kombat Annihilation around the same time. That makes this look like filet mignon. And it's actually a good movie though. Like it has it hits different beats, and it hits some of the comedy works for me. And I don't say that about everything, not everything makes me laugh, but I think the comedy worked, and the choreography was well done. And so yeah,
I just watched it and I had a blast.
I need to rewatch it. I picked it up on Black Friday as well. There was just a lot of Black Friday deals on 4Ks this year. So like a lot of these I picked up that were on sale. So next one is Our Friend. I won't stay on this one for too long because I know Tyler probably hasn't seen this one. But we got Casey Affleck, Dakota Johnson, and Jason Segel. I almost felt a sneeze coming. It'll probably pop back up. But this one is a drama, and it is very dramatic, very emotional. The character that we're supposed to have sympathy for isn't that likable. I think that's one thing that brought this movie down, is because we're supposed to have sympathy for this character because she finds out that she has cancer. and it's just like she's not a good person. Like she has done things and said things that just are like, I'm supposed to feel bad for you, which is bad to say, but if you actually watch the movie, you'll know, like, yo, I'm not really feeling this character. So that's how I felt about Our Friend. Moving on to a film that we both have seen, Fear Street, 1978. And like we talked about with 1944, it's kind of flipped for Tyler. He really enjoyed 1944 and didn't really care for 1978. And like I said, it's kind of flip-flop for me. I liked 1978 a lot more. I felt like the kills were better. I felt like it was more intense for me. The story, I followed the story a lot better. I liked how it integrated the story for this one into the first movie. And yeah, it just worked a lot better for me personally. And I know Tyler is a little bit, well, I don't know if Tyler's the odd man out on that one, because I feel like a lot of people like the 1944 though. I think a lot of people like 1944 too.
I am the odd man out in saying that the second one is my least favorite of them.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure.
I found this was the only one. I stood up for all three of these for them to come out at 3 a.m. This was the only one that I fell asleep watching.
Oh wow!
I found this boring. I didn't like the characters at all. I thought Ty Simpkins' sister was atrocious and gave one of the worst performances I've ever seen in this year.
I think it's 1666.
I didn't like a lot of the things in it. I respected that it had the balls to do some of the things it did. Like it like straight up killed kids. And I was like, oh
yeah. Get him.
Yeah. But I don't know. I like the Sadie Sink. She's a good actress. I don't know. It just didn't do it for me, and I thought it would because it was basically a Friday the 13th setting. And I don't know. I just found it overall boring.
Oh crap! I done messed it up. Right, let's go back now and see. Okay. Gotta deal with these ads again. All right. Moving on to another film that we both seen. I think we have a little bit of opposing opinions. Some of the same for Black Widow. Kind of middle of the road. I think I liked it a little bit more than most people. Most people just feel like this one is a waste of time, waste of space. And I don't quite feel like that. I liked the performances from Florence Pugh. I liked what the story had to tell. Now, is it completely necessary? Nah. But let me know what you think about Black Widow.
I saw it in the theater, and I was really excited. It was the first MCU movie in the theater in basically a year at that point, because Far From Home was in July of 2019. So 2 years, because we didn't have anything in 2020. I was really excited for that movie. And when I saw it, I thought it was good. I didn't think it was, anything ground. But I thought people were like a little too hard on it, because I saw people like, oh, this was like bland as fuck. This felt like nothing. And I was like, it was good. I had fun watching it. But I have not had any motivation to go back and rewatch this movie at all. And Hawkeye has kind of made this movie less and less meaningful because of what they did to Yelena. And I know people disagree, quite frankly. I don't give a shit anymore. But yeah, I feel like there were things set up in Black Widow that they didn't really deliver on. But the movie as a whole is fine. I just wish it'd come out a lot sooner. But
yeah, I think that's a lot of people's issue with it too. They think it should have came out before Endgame so it can hold more weight for what happened.
It's not a bad movie, but for what a Black Widow movie could have and should have been, it's disappointing.
I can respect that. I still have to pick this one up. That's the last movie I have to pick up to complete my MCU collection.
I thought you had it.
No, that's the only one I don't have. I got Shang-Chi for Christmas. Stacey got that for me, so that's the only one. And I already pre-ordered No Way Home. So next is 36 is Spencer. Man, I wanted to like Spencer a little bit more than I did, but it's not a bad movie. I think I gave it a 4 out of 5. I enjoyed it. It's just I thought that I was gonna get a better performance. Maybe not better, but like more impactful performance from Kristen Stewart. Which I'm not a huge fan of Kristen Stewart's work and her roles, but like with this film, I felt like this was going to be a little bit of a changing point of my opinion of her, and it wasn't that much. It was a little bit because I do see that she can carry a film like this, but I wanted her to do more than carry the film. I wanted her to impress me, and I didn't really feel that way. Some scenes like the pearl scene where she takes off the pearl and it falls in the soup and she's eating the soup and the pearls are like she's eating the pearls and stuff like that. That was probably the scene that stood out to me the most. And I liked it. But other than that, I was thinking about throughout the movie, it just didn't really impress me.
So I saw this movie because my friend wanted to go see it. I really had no interest in seeing it, but went to go see it. My theater experience for this movie was atrocious. I had 2 people in front of me that wouldn't shut the hell up for the whole movie. And there were scenes where most of that movie is very dramatic, and most of the scenes are scenes where you have to let things sit with you, and it's kind of hard for me to do that when I have 2 jackasses in front of me that won't shut the hell up. So I feel like I liked the movie way less, but even without that terrible theater experience, I kind of felt the same way AJ did. I thought it was kind of boring. And there were moments that I liked, like when she was with, I guess, her sons or her nephews or whatever, and they were I forgot what they were talking about. They were playing that game, the army.
Oh
game.
Yeah, the dialogue there was really good.
I liked that scene and the ending when they were playing the game and she walks out onto the field. She's like, "Oh, I'm not leaving without them." That was great. But movie itself, it was okay.
Yeah, I would overhyped. You said,
yeah, I think.
Yeah. I don't know. It's definitely my favorite Kristen Stewart performance, though. I will say that. Do you have a favorite Kristen Stewart performance?
I haven't seen her in much. I've seen her in that. I've seen her in Underwater. This.
Yikes. My condolences.
Underwater was okay. It wasn't that bad. It could have been worse. It could have been worse.
Underwater was so bland.
I mean, it was bland, but as a movie on its own, it was fine. Shit. What else? I'm trying to think of anything that's not Twilight.
That's what I was gonna say. Twilight.
There's probably some.
Did you see the Snow White movie? The Snow White?
Did not.
Oh,
okay. Man, those were weird movies, man. When those came out, I was like, "What is this?"
Moving on to the next row. Oh yeah, we're getting to my hero.
This one breaks our hearts, man.
The amount of times this movie has dropped on my ranking is sad. Like it was like in the top 20, and then I was like, okay, top 25, then 30, and now it's 30, sitting at 35 right now.
Fucking movie, bro. This was ironically the last movie I had a shit theater experience, and this movie I had a shit experience with too. This movie, man, It was literally two different movies. The first half of
It
the
felt like
movie
really like a hard split through the
was
middle.
the first half of this movie was so boring. I did not care at all. I hated the new character. Rory, whatever his name was, I don't like him
Brody.
at all. Rhodey. I hated his character. There were some cool action sequences, mainly with the girl with the bow and arrow. I forgot her name. They didn't really drop her name that much, but
Yeah.
you
She
know,
was kind of a mystery character a little
she
bit.
was really cool. I feel like I was following this movie way before it was out, and they released a Japanese trailer, and the main thing in that trailer was, "Oh, Deku is wanted for murder," and most of the people in the chat are like, "What are they talking about?" But I'm just explaining my frustration. Basically, this big plot line in the movie was the main selling point for this movie, and within like 10 minutes, it's gone, and I hated that. And the first half of this movie, I was sitting there so bored out of my mind. I was like, I don't care.
It was a lot. It was very comedic, the first half of the movie.
And I didn't think it
supposed to.
landed at all.
Yeah.
That's
people
something
in my theater were like cracking up.
That's something that I've never said from My Hero before. Normally, I'm one of the ones I eat that My Hero Academia comedy up. I was like, this is not funny. Then they get to, what was the villain's name? I forgot his name.
Don't ask me nothing about this movie.
They get to the villain's like lair, and the last 40 minutes of this movie was everything I wanted. Mm-hmm. The action was awesome. Our characters got time to shine, and Deku, the main character, does something that made me jump out of my seat and scream. I was like, yo, that shit was crazy. Yeah. And I wish that the first half of the movie was as good as the second half, because if it would have been on the level of at least two heroes.
Yeah, if I hear playback, you got. Can you hear me twice?
No.
Here, let me try something. Testing. I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna have to talk without my headphones in because that's distracting. As far as My Hero goes, if it would have kept the same like feel of the film like throughout like the first and second half of the movie, I would not have liked it at all. It was very like boring, kind of mundane, like just run of the mill. It's like y'all could have done this in an episode. Like y'all didn't even have to do this. And
it's definitely the worst
film and had everybody come out to the theaters during COVID for this.
It's definitely the worst of the movie.
It is, and that's sad though, because I was so excited for this movie because the first two I really enjoy, especially the second one.
Yeah, Heroes Rising is incredible.
Incredible film. And if you follow the show, like I think you definitely would appreciate it more. But even without watching the show, I think you could get into the second movie because it kind of sets everybody up. It kind of talks about, it shows the villains, and the villains aren't really necessarily the ones from the show. Like they do introduce a villain from the show towards the end of the movie, but like everything is pretty original. And one thing I didn't like about Heroes Rising, before I'll talk about this and now we'll move on because people don't hardly watch anime. Yeah. But what
are you talking about?
Right, exactly. But one thing I didn't care about for the movie is how all the events that happened within the movie were contained and it didn't lead over into the story of the show. That's the only thing that I didn't care for. Like it kind of erased everything that happened in the movie. But anyway, that's how we feel about that movie. And we'll move on to I Care a Lot. 34. Did you see I Care a Lot?
I did not.
Rosamund Pike. This one kind of shocked me, surprised me that I liked it so much. Peter Dinklage is in this movie. I enjoyed it quite a bit. The rewatch value is not that high. But yeah, I Care a Lot was cool though. I gave it a 4 out of 5. And that ending was wild. All right, moving on. I'm going to talk about Long Halloween Part 1 and 2 together.
That's what I was gonna tell you
So
to do.
it's yeah. So 33 and 32, Long Halloween. It's basically just one story. It's one story.
Yeah.
And excuse me.
Ooh, bless you.
Excuse me.
Oh,
Both of us sitting over here getting sick.
yeah, right.
But anyway, Long Halloween Part 1 and 2. This movie was really, really hyped up for me. This movie, I was told that this was like probably one of the best animated films, especially like best animated DC films that I ever will watch. And I liked them a lot. I gave them both a 4 out of 5 because even though the beginning half of part 2 was kind of slow for me, I didn't love what was happening and I didn't love the pacing, but the third act of the second movie really drove it home, and all of the first movie I enjoyed. So both 4 out of 5s for me. I really enjoyed how they used the villains in this movie, in these films, and yeah, Batman is awesome in the movie.
I bought these because of the hype, and I
Mhm.
found the steel books, and I was like, I gotta get the steel books because they're steel books and they both match. It
Yeah.
looks cool. I like them a lot. Part 2 was I did do this in double feature with Alex and Stu.
Mhm.
We had a lot of fun watching it. I watched part 1 and I didn't watch part 2, and I was like, okay, it was all right. Then I watched part 1 again, and I was like, yeah, it was really good. And then I watched part 2 right after, and I was like, yeah, it was really good.
Mhm.
So I did like them both.
Yeah.
Um, do you see yourself buying the 4K when it comes out?
No. I didn't like these movies as much as everybody else did,
Mm.
but
I mean,
I did think they were cool though, huh?
You gave them a 4. I
I
feel
know,
that's
I
kind of
know.
how people felt though.
Yeah, but people were like talking about it like this is the best. Like I was gonna give it a 5, no, easily. That's
The
how
next
people were
movie
telling me about
above
it.
these definitely is.
This is a hot take. This is a
I
hot
can't
take.
speak because I haven't seen it, but you
Yeah,
go
I
ahead
gave
with
you the digital
that.
code for it. I know if you don't like it, you're gonna go in on me about it. But Injustice, bro, I watched this last night. This was lit, man. I liked it a lot. It's not perfect. It's kind of on par with how I felt about Batman: The Long Halloween, but it wasn't as grounded. So I just think people not really giving that one a fair shake. I think a lot of the arguments that I saw, because I went on Letterboxd and looked up, the reviews for Injustice, and a lot of them say it's just not a good adaptation of the comic or the game. But like, in my opinion, you don't have to be the same though. Like, you don't have to be the same as the comic or the game. I think if you have an original story to tell, that's all right. People didn't like how the characters were used, and I definitely disagree with that. So that's how I feel about that. Give me 1 second. Need to blow my nose. All right, we back. We back. All right, so Injustice, that's a hot take. Most people give that movie like a 2 or a 1 out of 5, and I gave it a 4 because I really dug it. All right, moving on to the next row. 30, A Quiet Place Part 2. Felt like the first time I watched it, I really loved it. I think I was thinking it might even been better than the first one. Then upon rewatch and reflection, I didn't care for it as much. I felt like there were some plot holes, and yeah, I think it's sitting well at 30 for me.
Um, funny story about this movie. I saw this movie the day right after I got my second dose of DLC in my body. And So I felt honestly the way I feel now, terrible.
Mm-hmm.
I was getting cold shivers. My body
Oof.
was aching. I was in a IMAX theater for 2.5 hours. Oh, not 2.5 hours. The movie was like what, 2 hours? And
It was
I'm
about
sitting
2
there
hours.
like, I want to go home. I don't like. And I felt bad, but even with all that, I still really dug the movie. But I gave it a 4. Then I bought it on 4K when it came out. I bought the Steelbook. Love that
Mm-hmm.
Steelbook.
Yeah.
And when I watched it, I made it a mission to watch it on 31 Days of Halloween. I watched it on Halloween Eve.
Mm-hmm.
I watched it again, and I was like, I love this movie.
Mm.
My score went up to a 4.5. I really dug it a lot.
Wow.
My main issue with the movie is they split up the family, and I kind of don't like that. Also, I hate how the ending is just another cliffhanger ending.
Abrupt. Ended very
And
abruptly.
it kind of annoys me now because we don't have confirmation if we're getting a third Quiet Place movie, and I don't think John Krasinski wants to make another Quiet Place movie.
So if it just ends like that, what do you think?
I mean, my score wouldn't go down. I would
Mm-hmm.
just be disappointed that we
Gotcha.
wouldn't get another movie. But, yeah, I really love the movie, and I hope, even though I doubt Paramount would do this, I kind of wish they would release a cut where it's both like split and combined into one.
Oh,
Take out
because
the
they
credits.
kind of like, yeah, the events of the first movie kind of lead in right into
Yeah,
the second movie, even though we get that flashback at the beginning of the
which
movie.
that flashback, I
Some of
was
the
sick
best,
as fuck.
some of the best parts of the
Right,
movie.
I was in that theater sick as hell, and I was watching that flashback. I was like, "This is some of the greatest shit I've ever witnessed in my life."
Mm-hmm.
I loved every second of that.
Mm-hmm. Boba Fett's in the chat. Says, AJ, you're the man. Long time listener. First time live chatter. Awesome. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for chatting. Benji says, looks like Spencer is 30 lower on your list than mine. So he's got it at 6 because it's at 36 for me.
Quick math.
Uh-huh. So the next film is Last Night in Soho. Edgar Wright wrote and directed. Thomas and McKenzie, Matt Smith, Anya Taylor-Joy. The first time, well, I only seen it once, and I watched it in the theater. I was a bit underwhelmed. I did like the movie. I still like it. 4 out of 5 for me. It's just was a little underwhelming as far as a horror film goes. Now, as far as a drama and a thriller mystery, it's decent. It felt a tiny bit generic, though.
I kind of feel like the same scenario I have with this is what I have with Malignant. The first time I watched it, I loved it. I had it at a 5. It went down to a 4.5 upon reflection.
Uh-huh.
I've only seen it once. I kind of don't want to see it again. It's not because it's not rewatchable. It's because I feel like if I watch this movie again, I'm gonna fucking hate it.
Yeah.
But I loved the direction in this movie. Edgar Wright is still my favorite director.
I don't know if
I do
that.
think that he took a bit of a misstep with the horror direction, and it kind of surprised me because even though Shaun of the Dead isn't a full-fledged horror movie, there's horror elements in it, and I think those work a lot in that movie.
Work better than in this movie.
Yeah. I think there were like 10 sequences, mainly like the ending where where things were happening. I don't want to spoil it.
No, spoil it, yeah.
But I think the third act was intense, and I did like the twist a lot. I know a lot of people didn't. I did like the twist a lot.
This was cool. That's what I'm saying. Like, as a thriller, as a mystery, it worked for me.
Yeah. The direction though, I can't rave about it enough, man. That sequence where they're basically paying homage to Pulp Fiction, I was like, Edgar Wright, you sneaky son of a bitch, bro. And did you see the behind the scenes where they're filming the dance sequence?
No, I didn't, but you told me that it was.
It's incredible. They basically they would start dancing, and let's say he's dancing with Anya Taylor-Joy. Every time he twirl, it would be Thomas and McKenzie basically running behind her to keep dancing. It was all practical. It wasn't CG. It's incredible. I can't believe it. But I do wish it was better than it was, though.
For sure. All right, moving on to 28, Judas and the Black Messiah. I think this is a little bit lower than a lot of people have it on their ranking of 2021. I actually didn't love the movie. I thought the performances were fantastic, phenomenal performances.
Yes.
But when, I don't know, like, something about the movie did not grab me. Not all of the characters worked for me. The main two characters worked tremendously. But when it comes to the people that they are around, the people that they were, in relationships with, they just didn't feel authentic to me. I think it was kind of performances, also direction. But yeah, overall, it was a good film. I can acknowledge that it was a good film, but it didn't connect with me as much as it did with a lot of people.
This was my number 4 of the year. This was one of the first. I think this was the first movie that I saw this on HBO Max because my theaters weren't open. I wish my theaters were open because, I watched this I think twice within a day. I watched this, on my first viewing, and then I watched it with my friend. I love this movie so much. I thought it was amazingly directed. I think Daniel Kaluuya, this man could lecture me about my life, and I'd listen. I love Daniel Kaluuya so much. Lakeith Stanfield was very good in it as well. I thought the third act was amazing. There were some truly powerful scenes in this movie, mainly all coming from Daniel Kaluuya. Yep. It was just it was a movie that it hooked me throughout all of the movie, and I just could not take my eyes off the movie, And it who was it directed by again?
Not exactly sure.
I'll look it up. But it was amazingly directed. Who directed this? Shaka King, who directed nothing really. Just a bunch of regular movies. This is his first big movie, and it's impressive. It's a great movie. The ending was great, I think. And it was a really good movie. And I know there were, some differences, but there's always those kind of differences with these kinds of movies.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I heard that, some of the characters didn't do things. I was like, bro, at this point, you're always going to get that with a movie like this, But very good movie.
Moving on to number 27, The Guilty. It's a Netflix. Is it a Netflix original film? I think it is. Okay. So, yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal basically in a call center the entire film. And he's talking to different people, trying to figure out, what's going on. I loved the twist in this movie. Jake Gyllenhaal killed it. And I think it was very, I think his performance was very impactful. So The Guilty, I think I liked it more than most.
I liked it. I thought Gyllenhaal was great as usual. The man breathes and gives a good performance. But I thought it was. You ever seen that movie The Call with Halle Berry?
I haven't seen it, but I know of it. Yeah, that's what I thought of when I.
Yeah, that's exactly. I could not think of that.
So The Call, is it just in? Is it only in the call center? Okay, that's what I thought, because I thought I saw scenes outside of the call center.
Yeah, she goes to rescue the person that she's on the phone with.
Isn't that the same thing as Kidnap, where she chases somebody that steals her kid?
No, but that's different though, because she plays like a regular mom.
I know, but she's also after. She's also after
she's after somebody. Yeah. But yeah, this was a really good movie. I thought once they revealed the twist, it was a really interesting twist, but I kind of feel like after that, the movie kind of just fizzled out and it kind of just ended. I was like,
you didn't like what they had to say about his character. It was
interesting, but I was like, All right.
It wasn't as interesting. They kind of set the bar high with the twist, and then like the rest just wasn't as interesting as that twist. I get it.
Yeah.
I get that.
It was good though.
The next one I'm not going to talk about too much, but it is higher than a lot of people have it because I really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was well done. I thought it was well shot. And I read the book last year, and I was highly anticipating this movie, and it got delayed, and I did not know when we were going to get the movie. Amy Adams did a great job in this movie. I don't quite understand the hate completely, but you know, that's just me. Did you see this movie, Tyler?
Yeah. It's funny. Before COVID happened, I was actually very excited for that movie. I was like, could be really cool. And when they announced it was going straight to Netflix, I was like, oh, sweet. I get to finally watch it. The first half of it is good for me. When they revealed the twist, I feel like the movie should have ended. And then the third act happened, and my score for this movie absolutely depleted. I did not like the third act of this movie at all.
Wow.
The first two acts of the movie I thought were good. The third act, I was like, what the hell were you doing? Why? I didn't like the third act at all.
I think it was a very good adaptation of the movie. I will say that. If you don't like the events that happened or transpired in the book, then you probably won't like the movie. I think I don't know. You never read the book though, have you?
Nope.
Okay, so I feel like you probably wouldn't enjoy the book because it kind of plays out the same way in the third act.
The last book I read for a movie is probably Divergent of the Hunger Games.
Got you.
One or the other.
Got you. So yeah, into my top 25. Cherry. I like Cherry a lot. I like Cherry so much when I first watched it. At one point it was my number one film of the year. And it went down once I thought about it. Once I talked to people about it, they opened my eyes to different things about the film, and I was just kind of like, they're right about that. I gotta acknowledge the flaws. I gotta acknowledge the things that were not great about it, but it couldn't go past 25 because my initial watch of the film was so great, and it touched me, bro. I was getting misty towards the end of the movie, bro, and I know a lot of people can't relate, but I thoroughly enjoyed this on my first rewatch, but upon reflection, the score has gone down, and it's gone down in my ranking.
You see the way I'm looking at you right now, right?
I do, and that's okay. That's all right.
This movie, I was very excited. I don't even know where it is on my ranking. It's definitely the lower half. Yeah, it's close to my bottom 5 honorable mentions. I was looking forward to this movie because it was the Russo brothers, and obviously I'd be excited after Endgame. There were things I liked. Tom Holland was great. Most of the acting was great, I think. I thought the pacing in this movie was atrocious. And after the second act, this movie fell off a fucking cliff that it never recovered from. My favorite part was the second act where he was in the army. That was my favorite part of the movie. And when he leaves, he starts doing all this nonsensical shit. I was like, what am I watching? Did not work for me at all. I didn't like that movie at all. I was very disappointed.
I respect that. I'm sorry that she didn't enjoy it. Boba Fett says The Guilty is a Danish movie on Hulu. Gyllenhaal's version was a remake. Yes, I am aware. I have not seen the Danish version though. Dilated Entertainment says AO Tyler and AJ. What is going on? We are in the top 25, and I'm gonna try to. We're already past 2 hours, so I'm gonna try to speed this up a little bit. So Lamb, A24 film, very, very, very slow burn. It's almost like stagnant how slow this burn is, but once we get to the end, it's is wild. I don't know. I think a lot of people wouldn't say that the end was a good payoff, enough payoff for what we got in the first, second, and basically the majority of the third act. But Lamb, I really, really enjoyed. Uh, Beta Fett says, Lamb, nah, fam. Nice. Benji said it's an 8 out of 10. That's fair. That's fair. I think I gave it about an 8 too. But yeah, so number 23 is Malignant. This is a pretty divisive film that came out this year. James Wan film. And I enjoyed it, man. I watched it twice. 3 times. Wait, 3 times? Maybe 3 times. I can't even remember how many times I saw it, but I watched it once in the theater, enjoyed it, watched it once at home, showed Stacy. She didn't like it as much. I think she gave it like a 3.5. I think I definitely gave it a 4. Really good horror film, man. And then things like that happened in this third act. My jaw was on the ground. My jaw dropped,
Yo,
man.
you
the whole like jail cell scene and then the precinct scene. Yo. Insane.
This was my most anticipated movie of the year. One of them. I saw this movie in an empty theater, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, no, that's not. I had a woman with her 3 kids come to see Malignant, an R-rated horror movie.
There was kids in my theater too.
I don't know. I guess taking kids to horror movies is the new norm now.
I guess
because I had kids in my theater for Halloween too.
Same.
But Malignant, man, I love this movie so much. I loved it. It just missed my 10 of the year. I love this movie so much. I've seen people say, "Oh, there's bad performances in the movie on purpose." I'm like, "What? What are you talking about?"
Like
because
people say
people say like, "Oh, the first half of the movie is like bad on purpose." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" I didn't think it was bad on purpose.
Yeah, what was it? What was bad about it?
I don't know.
The acting?
But
I don't know.
I guess I didn't think the acting was bad. I thought it was good.
Me either.
But I love the story. It was very intriguing. And again, the third act, I literally screamed out, "What the fuck?" in the theater.
The
Straight
third
up.
act with the reveal.
Bro. When they revealed, I was like, "What?"
Yo,
bro.
at that point, I did know what was happening. But I know a lot of folks were caught by surprise with it.
I remember
when you
seeing
look at the name of the film, like if you know what that means and you kind of relate it to what the film is, then you're like, oh, okay.
I didn't know. And I saw people say like, "Oh, that twist was kind of like the twist at the end of the first Saw movie with Jigsaw." I was like, it might be
comparable to that.
Yeah, I was like, "Hey, it might be, bro." That had to be the most shocked in a theater that I've been this year, other than a certain scene in No Way Home.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But it was great. It was great.
We both really enjoy Malignant. I know this is higher on your list than mine, but we both enjoyed it a lot. Next one is Zack Snyder's Justice League. This movie is long, but this movie is great. This movie is 4 hours even. Yeah, man. But yo, when we say an upgrade, that upgrade is a word.
Bro, you upgraded from fucking 144p to 1080, bro.
Yes, 4K, bro. Upgrade is an understatement for this film, and I think we're gonna do a watch along for this one in the new year on Alex Thomas's YouTube channel, but that's yet to be announced and solidified. But we both really enjoyed Zack Snyder's Justice League. You got anything else you want to say about it?
No, I'm happy we got it. You know, I think the fan base could have dialed it back a little bit, but
But we did get it.
I'm glad we got it.
Yep. So the next one is In the Heights, and I know this was Tyler's number one for a long time, but we'll have to just see, what's his number one later on. But you put out your top 10 today, so if you are interested in Tyler Mind of a Nerd's top 10, check it out on Instagram. But In the Heights, choreography. The songs slapped. Great. The story, there were some things about the story and the characters that didn't. Vanessa was one of them. But I think the relationship between Uznavi and Vanessa also was something I was a little iffy on. The people at the salon, I was a little iffy on their characters, not very much depth there. And then the relationship between Benny and the other, I forget those people's names.
Oh, fuck me.
I forget those people's names.
Wow, what is her name? Leslie Grace's character.
Leslie Grace's character. I liked Leslie Grace's character.
That's her
Nina,
name,
of course,
yeah.
Nina. Why I forget that? But I did like her character, but yeah, Uznavi, U.S. Navy. That was a funny bit in the film. Watch along for Justice League would be perfect. Yeah, man, we're probably gonna do that next year. We'll just stay posted. We'll stay posted, and we'll let you guys know. But In the Heights, some of the characters didn't work. Some of the characters worked very well. Amazing choreography and music, and that's In the Heights. What do you think?
The first time I saw it, I absolutely loved it. I gave it a 5. I loved it. Second time I watched it, I still loved it, but it went down a little bit, mainly because I never realized how annoying Vanessa actually is. She's fucking annoying. Especially in the carnival scene, which is my favorite scene in the whole movie. But then when she comes on, bro, shut up.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, I love it so much. It has some of my favorite music ever. And I'm happy we got a movie like this. And I saw it in IMAX too, which was awesome to see in IMAX. Yeah, a really good movie.
Nice. Moving on to the next row. 20, Many Saints of Newark. I really dug this movie. I watched the entire series of Sopranos for this movie. Not for the movie, but it was coming out. Yeah, well, I don't even know if it was really in preparation. I had it on my list for a while, even before I knew that there was going to be a movie made for it. And I was like, this might be the perfect time to watch it because, the movie's coming out. So the movie motivated me to watch the show, and I'm glad it did. The show was phenomenal. The movie was good. It wasn't, I think I kind of had a little bit unrealistic expectations for it. But it was actually really good though. And I know a lot of people didn't really care for it. Mainly people didn't see the show. But you said you haven't seen the show and you enjoyed it. So
it's funny with this movie. The movie's a lot more divisive than I thought it would be because I just watched Cody Leach's top 10 worst, and this was on it, and he watched the whole show.
Wow.
So I don't, and then Jeremy John said he really dug it, and he watched the show too. So I don't know where people stand. But
it's divisive.
I've never seen the show. I had no expectations going into it. I just saw what kind of movie it was with the cast. I was like, okay, let's watch it. And I'm not really big on mafia movies. I've never seen Goodfellas or Scarface or You
need to change that, bro. You need to change that.
So I watched this, and I mainly watched it because it was a movie on HBO Max, and I was like, all right, let's add a movie to the letterbox. and I was like, holy shit, that was fucking good.
It was good.
I
Really
had
good.
such a good time watching that movie. You know, it was a very good movie.
Yep, it wasn't perfect, but
No,
it was good. Very good.
yes, very good.
Performances: Vera Farmiga, John Berthal, and some of these other
The,
characters.
the kid that was Tony Soprano was excellent.
That's the actor's son in real life.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
and he
that's
was
James
excellent.
Gandolfini. No, yeah, wait, yeah, Michael Gandolfini.
And that kind of reminds me of Straight Outta Compton because Ice Cube's son plays him.
Yep. O'Shea Jackson. So moving on to 19, Don't Look Up. This came out on Christmas Eve. Yep, last week. And I watched it last week on Christmas Eve. And it was good. It's a satire and political satire, and it worked on so many levels for me. And then there were a few things that didn't work for me, mainly Jonah Hill's character and just kind of jokes like that he was presenting and other people were presenting like that. It just didn't work for me. But other than that, it was pretty perfect. If they would have taken him out and some of the jokes that were like his that he was presenting, it probably would have been a 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10 for me.
Yeah. I went into this with no expectations. I watched it mainly because of the cast. You know, Leonardo DiCaprio, Jennifer Lawrence. I don't know what the last movie Jennifer Lawrence was in. I think Dark Phoenix.
Or Red Sparrow,
and Leo hasn't been in anything since Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and they acted their asses off in this movie, and they were both excellent. The movie itself was very good. I didn't even know what this movie was about.
Me either. I didn't know what this movie was about.
When they were like, "Oh, there's a meteor coming to Earth," I was like, "What?"
Right. That's what I was thinking too. I had no clue what this movie was about.
I was like, "Okay." Yeah, very good movie. Very. Also, Timothy Chalamet, you son of a bitch. Luckiest man on the planet.
Because he got with Jennifer Lawrence in the movie. Spoiler alert. I wish you wouldn't have told me that before the movie, because she's actually with somebody in the beginning of the movie, and I didn't know that they broke up. And I was like, "Oh, they must have broke up," because you told me that she was with him. But anyway, moving on to the next one is Cruella. This one was very, very high on my list, and it got knocked down a few pegs, mainly because there's better movies that I enjoyed more coming out. But then also, kind of upon reflection, I thought about the rewatch value. I thought about the performances and just like the overall narrative the movie was trying to tell, and it didn't hold up for me as much as it did when I first watched it.
Cruella was okay for me. I thought this movie was going to be atrocious. I thought the trailers were not good at all. Especially the teaser trailer. I was like, this looks atrocious. And this is coming from someone that 101 Dalmatians is one of my favorite Disney movies, and it's because of Cruella DeVille. So walking into this, I had no expectations. I did not see this in the theaters. I watched it on Disney Plus. And I thought it was okay. There were a lot of things that I loved, but then for like everything I loved, there was another thing where I was like, okay. The twist was great.
I liked the twist too. I was wondering what you were going to say about the twist, because I did like the twist too.
I did not see that coming. I was like, "Oh, okay,
I didn't see it coming either." Cool. I actually gasped. I said,
but but I thought, it just, I don't know. Maybe I need to rewatch it. I don't know. But I also hated the post-credit scene.
What was the post-credit scene? Was it when she sent the letters?
Yeah, the dogs. When she sends them the dogs. I was like, that doesn't make any sense.
The dogs, yeah.
I was like, so you retconned 101 Dalmatians. It's like, why did you do that?
Yeah, but it kind of like leads up to a sequel. Like there possibly could be a sequel to Cruella.
But they greenlit one, but it's not going to be a Cruella. Well, based off the post-credit scene, it looked like they were setting up a live-action remake of 101 Dalmatians, not
Oh,
a
okay.
Cruella sequel.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what they do. The point is, if they do 101 Dalmatians, I'm not watching it. I'm tired of these fucking Disney live-action remakes.
Yeah, they're
And
getting pretty tired.
they
right
already
about
did
now.
it in the early 2000s, and that one was good. Just stop it.
Next one is Free Guy, 17. It was a lot higher on my list, and it went down. I do want to get it on 4K. I want to watch it again because I only watched it once. I enjoyed it a lot the first time. It was in my top 10. It might have been in my top 5. I thought it was pretty hilarious. I loved the effects. I thought the characters were well done. Maybe not the boss. I think the Taika Waititi character was really the only issue I had with the film. Everything else I enjoyed. Maybe the runtime. I think it overstayed its welcome a little bit towards the end. But other than that, I really loved this film.
The award to most overrated movie of 2021 goes to Free Guy. I barely like this movie at all. I found it painfully unfunny. The only part that I liked was that cameo. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. That generally screamed out loud, and I was like, that was hilarious. Other than that, I didn't find most of that movie funny. I thought Ryan Reynolds was being Ryan Reynolds, and I'm honestly tired of it at this point.
Oh, wow.
Especially after seeing Red Notice, I'm seriously fucking tired of it. The concept just came off as Wreck-It Ralph light, and I didn't really like it that much. I thought some of the commentary on how video games are made was cool because I can relate to it, especially with certain franchises that I hate in terms of video games. And I don't know. This was a huge disappointment for me. I didn't really enjoy it all that much, and
sorry to hear that.
It was a letdown for me.
Sorry to hear that. Yeah. Moving on to the next one, 16, The Night House. Yo,
I wish I saw this before the end of the year.
I was thoroughly surprised by how much I liked this movie. This movie was actually fantastic in my opinion. I really liked the narrative, and I really liked the storytelling. I liked the character a lot, and I was just intrigued the entire time. So I'm not going to give away what the movie was about. I'm not going to say any twists or anything that happens, but if there even is a twist. But yeah, so yeah, man, Night House really, it stuck with me too. And I was thinking about it like after I watched the movie, like I was like, dang, that was a good movie. So I don't feel like a lot of people saw it. It kind of flew under the radar a little bit.
It most definitely did.
And I didn't care for, I don't really care for the cover of the Blu-ray, but I did pick up the Blu-ray because the movie was dope and I liked it. So I wish Tyler had seen it before the end of the year so we could talk about it a little bit, but it's okay. Yeah. I'm sure he's going to watch it soon.
It'll probably be on Hulu soon.
Yeah.
They normally drop
streaming,
these kinds of movies on Hulu quickly.
Yeah, for sure. Moving on to the top 15, Coda is my 15th film. It got knocked down quite a bit because I don't know how often I'm going to rewatch this movie. It is very heartwarming. I really enjoy the characters in this movie. Some of the characters are not very likable, but the main characters that we see the majority of the film are likable. And it's just kind of like a family film, like pretty heartwarming. It was a Apple TV Plus original film. And I kind of would have liked to seen it in the theaters. I think it would have been cool to see this movie in the theaters, but we didn't get that. We had to do streaming, and that's okay because I liked it a lot.
This was my number one for a while until about like 2 weeks ago when I saw Censor. But this was amazing. I put off watching this for a while. I don't know why. It came out in the summer. I should have watched it when it came out. But I love this movie a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It just from start to end, I really loved it so much. I loved the teacher. I forgot his name,
Mm-hmm.
but he was great. I loved the main actress. She was very good, and overall, it's just great.
I think this is the guy that you're talking about,
Yeah,
the teacher. You got a whole thing of apple juice.
bro, this is making me feel better, bro.
Makes sense. I want
This
to
is
build
apple
a
juice, not
labyrinth in my house.
liquid courage. It's not liquid courage.
Night House. Night House is a life-changing movie. Yeah, man, it was great. So moving on to 14, The French Dispatch, Wes Anderson film, stacked cast. I'm not gonna go through everybody that was in it, but
Too many.
there's a whole lot of famous folks in this movie, and Wes Anderson does it again. And this is probably the most Wes Anderson-esque film that I've ever seen, and I think this is the only Wes Anderson film that Tyler has seen. But if he likes this one, so you're gonna like some of the other ones because
Yeah, man.
it's like Wes Anderson times
It
10.
was funny. I wasn't gonna see this movie, but I heard people say it was like really, really good, and AJ said it was good. Our boy Benji said it was good, and AJ was like, "I don't know if you're gonna like it because you ain't never seen a Wes Anderson movie." And I came out that theater. I said, "AJ, kick rocks. That movie was amazing."
No,
bro.
I didn't say that you weren't gonna like it, but I was like, it might be a little jarring his style of filmmaking because you hadn't seen any other ones. Because, like I said, this is a Wes Anderson film times 10. Like this is like everything that makes his other films like quirky and interesting and symmetrical. Like this man is so symmetrical. Every shot is split down the middle, same things on each side. And like if you actually pay attention to it. But yeah, like I didn't know how well you would be able to receive that. And you did pretty well because you loved it. So I'm
Yeah,
glad you
man.
really enjoyed it. I think
I
you liked it more
loved
than me.
I loved pretty much 90% of this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't love the second story. I thought it was kind of underwhelming.
Yeah, with Timothy Chalamet.
He was great in the movie, and that was mainly the only reason why I was interested in his story at that point. But I don't know, it was kind of lackluster. The first story was my favorite, with Benicio del Toro. That was great. Mm-hmm. The third story was good. It got progressively more entertaining throughout, especially with the little kid.
Yeah, and they had like a little cartoon section of the
film. How they free him. Was hilarious. But yeah, it was thoroughly entertaining. It was right up my alley with the humor, and I'm very excited to go through Wes Anderson's stuff.
I'm excited to hear your thoughts on these Wes Anderson films. But yeah, moving on to 13, Raya and the Last Dragon. It's been a while since I've seen this. I think it was like earlier in the year, maybe March. Maybe March when I actually watched it. And I remember it just being really good. I gave it a 5 out of 5 when walking away from it, but I can't really remember much about the film. So that kind of goes to show like how this film really stands the test of time. It's the same year, and I'm still like, what even really happened in this movie?
This was among my top 10 most anticipated movies of the year. I saw the teaser trailer, and I was like, this movie is going to kick so much ass. Mm-hmm. And walking away from it, I was vastly disappointed. I did like it, but I was like, there's a lot of familiar plot points from other Disney movies, and I was really not a fan of that.
I can see that.
But the voice acting was top notch. Mm-hmm. I like Awkwafina. I guess we had to preface when we like Awkwafina and things because people don't like Awkwafina.
For sure. If you don't like Awkwafina, you probably won't like this movie.
The animation was just stellar. Like, I don't love this movie, but I would want to buy it on 4K just for the animation because it's just
animation
incredible. But the story really frustrated me because, again, it feels a lot like Moana, and the ending really frustrated me because there were like about 3 times where they could have taken major risks with these characters and they opted not to and to play it safe. And it pissed me off because I don't like when Disney does that.
You don't feel like Encanto played things safe?
To a certain
we'll get to that when we get.
But
to
I mean,
Encanto.
like Encanto, with Encanto, they didn't really have opportunities to make it like. I mean, with one character, that's really it. But I don't know.
I mean,
not as much as Raya though.
Yeah, Raya probably could have taken it definitely further than it did, but I don't know. It resonated with me when I first watched it, but honestly, I just don't remember anything about the movie other than Awkwafina was the dragon, and then like the ending had something to do with like trusting your enemies or something like that. Like you can trust your enemies, or like I don't know, man. I can't even remember. But yeah, Raya is sitting at 13. It was in my top 10, but it had to go down because it's just not memorable for me. Billie Eilish is number 12. Billie Eilish, the word's a little blurry. I actually saw this movie in IMAX, which was awesome. I'm a big Billie Eilish fan, so seeing that in the theater was really cool. The documentary was following her tour when she was touring for one of her albums, her second album. And I don't know, it was pretty impactful, like her story, even though, you know, she's young, she doesn't have a full complete story. She's not an adult or, you know, hasn't lived that long, but the story that she told was pretty awesome. So Billie Eilish movie, number 12. Number 11, No Time to Die, man. I watched this yesterday, and I actually picked it up on 4K. And yeah, Billie Eilish right there. But yeah, No Time to Die was fantastic. I really enjoyed this. I enjoyed this movie the most out of all the Bond films. I don't know if that's something that's people are enjoying this movie more than everything else, all the other ones.
Mine, I think this would be higher than Quantum. Why do I keep saying Quantum of Solace? Casino Royale.
You think Casino Royale is higher on your list?
No. No Time to Die would be, but I think most people would either say this or Casino Royale or Skyfall.
Skyfall, yeah, I think Skyfall is a lot of people's number one, and I got a hot take with that one. I didn't absolutely love Skyfall. Like, it was a good movie, really great movie, but like there were several scenes where I was just like, I don't care what's happening right now. But No Time to Die was not like that in any of the scenes. So I don't know. And I really liked Spectre, which I've seen like 2 out of 5s for Spectre. I've seen 3 out of 5s for Spectre. And I'm just like,
Spectre's a good movie. It's just it's coming off of Skyfall, it's disappointing. But as a movie on its own,
I mean, I guess for a lot of people it was, but
I mean, I gave it a 3.5.
I wasn't disappointed after Skyfall. I was like, this movie actually is pretty awesome. But anyway, that's No Time to Die. Yeah. The final outing for Daniel Craig's 007. Moving into my top 10, Summer of Soul is number 10. And this film, man, when I tell you it touched me, bro. It was fantastic. I actually was able to see this one in the theaters. It's a documentary of a festival, a music festival that was in the 80s, and all the footage was lost until now. And a lot of black artists, a lot of soul artists, and performed, and it was fantastic. So the movie portrayed everything so well, and I loved how the film flowed. The music was fantastic. So AJ, is Bo Burnham on your list? No, because I never finished that. I didn't really like it much. That's a hot take. But French Dispatch was Wes Anderson's Tenet. That's funny. Inside Bo Burnham is fine. Like I heard so many of the songs from that, but it's not something that resonates with me personally. I didn't think it was very funny at all. It was more kind of interesting to see, like, there was like some visuals that, you know, were interesting to see and, you know, like that, but I watched half of it and never finished it and didn't really have the desire to finish it. So number 9 is Encanto. And yeah, me and you both really enjoy Encanto, and we love the soundtrack. And I watched Encanto maybe 4 times now.
Ooh.
Yeah, maybe 4 times now. Saw it once in the theater on my birthday, November 24th. And then on Disney Plus when it dropped, I watched it twice. I watched it twice. So 3 times total I watched it. Because I watched it once with my family and once on the 24th.
I mainly saw this movie because of how much AJ loved it.
Loved it.
And a lot of people were like, "No, this is some good shit." And I don't normally do kids movies in the theater.
Mm-hmm.
I just realized Space Jam was on your list.
I didn't see Space Jam.
Oh, I thought you did.
Mm-mm.
You'd probably hate that movie. But yeah, everyone was like, "Oh yeah, this is amazing." And I don't really do kids movies in the theaters because people don't know how to discipline their children in the theater. So I waited like 2 weeks, or I think a week after this movie came out, and I saw it in an empty theater, which was heaven, if I've ever imagined it.
Seeing a kids movie without kids in it.
Yes. And I absolutely loved it so much. My one big issue is that without spoilers, they don't really handle the big story element well. They kind of just resolved it, and I was like, okay.
They resolved it really quickly. Yeah. It wasn't.
And
it
I was
wasn't,
like, all
but
right.
it was a lot of build up for like not a lot of payoff.
Yeah. And like the payoff was there. It's just like it didn't. I don't know. It didn't have that oomph.
Yeah.
I was like,
I get
right.
you. I get that. I felt.
Other than that, I love it.
I felt the oomph though, bro. when she touched that doorknob of the house at the end and everything lit up, that was the oomph for me, bro. I was like, wow. I was dumbfounded with this movie, and in the theater, it wrecked me, bro. It really did. But Encanto is my number 9. Number 8 is Tick Tick Boom.
Woo!
Tick Tick Boom. Tyler, the amount of times if I had a quarter for every time he told me to watch this movie, I would be a rich man. I'll be a rich man. I said a quarter, not a dollar. I said a quarter. No, but Tick Tick Boom, I was not disappointed with. I really enjoy the music, the story being told. Andrew Garfield is the GOAT of acting, man. It was a phenomenal film. I watched it last night, actually, and it was so good. Tick Tick Boom. Even watching it last night, it's in my top 10. Crazy.
Yeah, I watched that movie. I was very excited. I was pissed that I couldn't go see this in the theater. I wanted to. It was just too far for me to go. But I loved this movie so much. And Lin-Manuel Miranda, man, this man owned 2021 with musicals, man.
He directed it, yeah.
He did this. He did the music for Encanto and In the Heights.
He didn't do the music for this, though.
Well, he directed it.
He did direct the movie. Yeah, he did direct the movie. Yep, for sure. But yeah, Tick Tick Boom. If you haven't seen it, see it. That's really all we got to say about that. So number 7 is Shang-Chi. And Shang-Chi, man, I was thoroughly surprised that this movie impressed me as much as it did, because I was not looking forward to the movie. I was looking forward to Snake Eyes more than this movie, because I watched both first trailers, and the first trailer for Shang-Chi, we really got nothing from this character. Like, we got like maybe one line from the character. I'm like, I don't care about anything that's happening. I don't care about him. I don't care. I mean, the Mandarin, of course, was being teased. That's really the only thing that I was intrigued about with this movie.
I can agree with that.
And then, yo,
I
it
mean, the
surprised
first
me
trailer,
thoroughly.
but I will say that the first trailer sold me though. Like
Really?
when that first big fight was shown, that the
bus?
scaffolding fight.
Oh, the scaffolding. Yeah.
When they
Outside
jump
the
in the
building.
air and boom, I was like, yo, this movie's about to slap, bro.
Yeah, I don't know. I really wasn't feeling it after the first trailer. But once I actually watched the movie, me and Stacy watched the movie, and yo, we both were blown away. And the third act, even like with the third act, I didn't know anything mystical, like magical creatures or anything like that was going to be in the film. So seeing that was a pleasant surprise. That was awesome to me. I thought the dragon looked great. I thought the opposing monster looked great. So yeah. Dilated Entertainment says, have you seen Jazz on a Summer Day? Sounds similar to Summer Soul. I have not. But go ahead, what you were going to say.
The scene where he takes the rings. First of all, the rings in general, the rings in general might be up there with my favorite weapon in the MCU. I loved the way they integrated the rings into the action sequences.
Fantastic.
You know, like when they were using them as like whips and shit. I was like, bro, this shit is awesome, bro.
It was awesome.
When he took them and he was doing a Dragon Ball Z shit, I was like, bro. I was like, ooh, man. And when he rode that, well, we're spoiling it. It's been out on Disney Plus for like 2 months already. Yeah. But when he came out on that dragon, I was like, nah, this is some good shit, bro. Yeah.
It's the quality.
And IMAX too, bro. Woo!
Yeah.
That was some good shit.
I didn't see it in IMAX in the theater, but the IMAX ratio on the TV was fantastic.
The bus fight alone, though. Oh my god, bro,
was awesome too.
Literally every action sequence topped each other. Like when I was watching the bus sequence, I whispered to my friend, I was like, that might have been the best action sequence in the whole year. And then when I forgot what the next one was at the scaffolding fight, I was like, that might have been the best action sequence I saw all year. And then the whole shit with the dragon, I was like, that shit was fucking awesome, bro. Oh man, it was such a good time. I haven't seen it since the theater, but I need to.
It was a good time, man. And you were supposed to watch it with us on Disney Plus, but you passed out.
Yeah, I was
so you missed out on that. Bro. I wish Shang-Chi and Katie Stars. What? I don't really know what that means. Okay, so next one is number 6 is Dune. Denis Villeneuve, man. Denny for the win on this one.
This man looked me in my eyes and said, I'm gonna put dirt in your eye. For those who don't know, those who don't follow me on Instagram, I was very negative towards this movie. I thought it was gonna be insanely overhyped. I was like, oh, the trailers weren't doing it for me. I was like, this is gonna not be that good. I didn't even watch it in the theater. I watched it at home.
Right.
And first time I watched it, it was a 3.5. I was like, it was good.
That hurt my soul.
So
when you sent out that rating.
Then I watched it again with Alex, and we both said, no, that's fucking awesome. It went from a 7.5 to a 9. It was really good.
Yeah. I can't wait to get it on 4K and watch it on 4K. I wish it had the IMAX ratio though, because the IMAX, when I saw the IMAX, it was great. No, it won't. It's okay. It's still a good movie.
The Battle of Atreides is one of my favorite action sequences of the whole year, bro. That was some good shit, bro.
Fantastic. All right, moving on to our last 5. The last 5. Can you guess them? Process of elimination. Let's just.
I know what one of them is.
Okay, nice. The reveal. All right, my last 5.
I can see all the viewers depleting because you have Eternals in your top 5.
I know it's number 4 too. It's not even number 5. the Suicide Squad, man. I watched it in the theaters in IMAX. Had a fantastic time. Had a wonderful time with it. It was hilarious, action packed, even kind of heartwarming at times. Like
Gotcha.
it really had everything you wanted. You
King
know,
Shark.
yeah, King Shark.
This man made me, bro. James Gunn literally made me almost be on the verge of tears because a shark almost died, bro.
Right. That's what I'm saying. The movie was a roller coaster of emotions in the best way possible. And,
So I seen this movie, I think 5 times at this point. I saw it at a press screening. I saw this movie at a press screening, which thank you, James Gunn. He made it available that people could see this movie early. I had to be in line for 3 hours to see this movie, but it was definitely worth it. It was so much fun to sit in the theater and be around so many people, and that was the best theater experience of the year before No Way Home. But I saw it then, and I absolutely loved it. I saw it in IMAX again. I loved it, and then I watched it at home with my mom, and I was like, this movie, man. And then I bought it on 4K last week, and I've watched it twice already. I love this movie so much, man.
Yeah, it's great. It's fantastic. It's in my top 5. Now, let's talk about a film. Number 4 is Eternals. People are mad about that. I can feel it in the worldwide webs.
But I hear the geeks.
If anybody's even still watching this, but yeah, like Eternals was fantastic. What? I don't care what you guys think.
Say it again.
Fantastic.
Yes, it was.
And it had
y'all could kick rocks.
It had so much depth, and I loved each character for their own reason. You know,
I feel sorry for people that say this is their least favorite MCU movie. I don't know how.
I can't even imagine that. I can't imagine Eternals not being in your top. Well, I can imagine it not being in your top, but I can't imagine it being in your bottom, like below stuff like Captain Marvel. Even though I like Captain Marvel, the movie isn't great. So seeing it below Captain Marvel, something below what? Ant-Man and the Wasp?
Thor: The Dark World.
Yo, what? Like, what is wrong with people? Anyway, I'm done talking about other people's stuff. We're here to talk about mine, and this is my number 4. Loved it. Cannot wait to watch it again. I saw it twice in the theater, once in regular, once in IMAX. Can't wait to see it again. Yeah, so Eternals. Number 3 is The Last Duel. I got it for Christmas. I'm very excited for that. Eternals was a flop. You're a flop. No, don't unsubscribe. But yeah, I loved Eternals so much, bro. Anyway, The Last Duel was fantastic. It's actually, I think it was a little bit lower on my list. I think it might have been like 7 right after I watched it, and then it kept moving up. More I thought about it, upon reflection, it just kept moving up and up and up. And I cannot wait to actually sit down and rewatch this film front to back. Jodie Comer was fantastic, and then we got Adam Driver that was really good. Matt Damon was really good. Ben Affleck was really good.
On the cover, I don't know why Jodie Comer looks like Emily Blunt. Look at the cover, and when you don't focus on her, it looks like Emily Blunt.
Dude, everybody got to look like somebody to you, bro. That's the issue that we have. Emily Blunt does not look like Emily.
Yes, it does, bro.
Does that look like Emily Blunt?
Bro, that looked like Emily Blunt.
Moving on. Yeah, this movie was really good though. I suggest anybody that likes medieval type, medieval style films, Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings, like stuff like that. Even though those are both fantasy, this is not a fantasy. This is based on a true story, but it gives that vibe, gives that feel. Braveheart, those types of movies. The Last Duel is fantastic and is my number 3. Moving on to my number 2, Demon Slayer, bro. Demon Slayer, Infinity Train, Mugen Train, whatever you want to call it. That's, I think, is the most fun that I've had in the theater besides my number 1 this year. The most fun I had watching, especially animated film. Like, and I think it was only 2 anime films that I watched this year in the theater. So it definitely was better than the other one that I watched.
What was the other one?
My Hero.
Oh.
So
we've talked about so many movies at this point.
Yeah, I mean 81 of them. So Demon Slayer.
Yeah, man. You didn't see this in IMAX, right?
No, I didn't.
I feel genuinely sorry for you. Seeing this in IMAX was absolutely incredible.
I imagine so.
It was a movie that I had just finished watching Demon Slayer at that point, and I wasn't really like excited. Like I was excited because it's an anime movie in the theater. I think it was my first anime movie in the theater, and I was watching it, and the last like 40 minutes of that movie, I was just like, this is just incredible.
It was.
It wasn't perfect for me. Mainly the last like 5 minutes. I was like, all right, wrap this up, please.
Man, I don't know, man. I loved pretty much every part of the film. It was funny. It was quirky. It was action. It had a lot of action. Had some awesome like blows to the enemies and whatever. Whatever. I've been talking about movies for so long now. We've been on for almost 3 hours. Was not expecting a 3-hour talk about the ranking, but it was Demon Slayer. I loved it. And then Spider-Man No Way Home. What a film. What a film. Filled with nostalgia, and it was actually a great story as well. A lot of these films that are focused on nostalgia kind of drop the ball on actually making a good movie.
Matrix.
I mean, you said it, not me. But yeah, so Spider-Man No Way Home, I think it had a fantastic story along with adding a lot of nostalgia for Spider-Man fans, live action Spider-Man fans all around the world, all around at pretty much any age. And you could they made the multiverse feel accessible. I don't know if that's a good word, but like it wasn't too confusing. And I don't know if it was as accessible as Spider-Verse. I think Spider-Verse might have broke everything down a little bit better, but because this is live action, so you kind of have to think about things in real life. So and then there were some plot holes here and there, but I kind of threw those out the window. I didn't really care about the plot holes, and it just was. It touched me. The movie touched me, bro. It really did. So that is the end of my ranking. What do you have to say about Spider-Man No Way Home before we?
It was great, man. My theater experience that was not cheering and screaming our heads off was fucking irritating because I had 2 people in front of me that wouldn't shut up and were recording the movie the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
But the movie was great, and I saw it a second time, and I was like, this movie is just perfect. And I saw it again Monday, this Monday, and I still really dug it. I don't want to see it again for a while, though. I'm kind of Spider-Man'd out.
Yeah, we talked about it like a whole lot, especially like on live streams and stuff.
And considering we watched like 7 Spider-Man movies.
7 Spider-Man movies, and then when this comes out, I'm gonna do a watch along on my channel for No Way Home. So
yeah,
stay tuned for that.
I don't know, man, but yeah, this movie was awesome. It's not my favorite of the year. My favorite again was Censor.
Mm-hmm.
But it's in my top five.
Nice. I can
And
respect that.
it was great. This is my favorite Spider-Man movie live action. Of course, overall it'd still be Spider-Verse. I think Spider-Verse did the
Multiverse.
yeah, I think it did it a little bit better.
Yeah,
But
I
overall
can
it was
agree
great.
with that. Well, that's the end of the ranking, and I did have a couple more sections to talk about if you're still down. Like two more sections. You can, hey, it's cool. I could do it myself. I
Yeah,
appreciate you stopping by for the ranking, bro.
I'm out
And
of here, brother.
all right, peace, bro.
Later. Oh wait, no, exit.
All right. I appreciate Tyler for stopping by for the ranking. We had awesome discussion about these films, and now we are getting into movies and TV that I've been watching lately. So obviously, there were a few films that I had to catch up on to actually, do my full ranking for 2021. And I think I mentioned those. So Tick Tick Boom, I watched. Titan, I watched. Injustice, I watched this week. No Time to Die. I recommend those movies. I don't know about Titan. Titan is kind of um, it's not for everyone. I'll tell you that. Titan is not for everyone. But as far as TV, I have been watching Dexter New Blood, and I've been really enjoying Dexter. Kind of some of the season, some more than some of the seasons of the original. I like New Blood better. So um, let's see. Boba Fett started. The book of Boba Fett started this week, and I dug the first episode. It was the first half of the episode was a little slow moving, but then it kind of picked up, and I really enjoyed what was left of it. I love Finnick in the film or in the series. When she was introduced, that was one of my favorite characters of the Mandalorian. So moving into Book of Boba Fett, I'm so glad that she's his, sidekick or person that he confides in or whatever. Um, so what else on TV have I been watching? Trying to get into Gotham again. It's tough, and I think that's about it that I've been watching. Just some movies here and there, some movies I've been picking up, some 4Ks, things like that. And moving on to most anticipated films 2022. I'm not going to make this too long. I'm going to say probably Batman. The Batman is maybe my number one. I am excited for Black Adam as well. Um, Indiana Jones 5 I'm excited for. Spider-Verse 2 is probably my number one. And Bob's Burgers, funnily enough, Bob's Burgers is one of my most anticipated films of 2022. So yeah, I'm actually out of here, man. I'm feeling tired. I'm feeling a little sick. So I'm gonna rest, and I hope everyone has an awesome and safe New Year's, and make sure you guys don't go too crazy, but have some fun. All right. Later.